Chapter 296. What's going on? Ling Jiling's red lips parted slightly as she looked at Su Yun with a puzzled expression. That's clearly true. Why did you lie to him? Su Yun shrugged his shoulders. After all, Tang Huabin helped us so much. Of course, I wanted to give him a surprise. If I didn't lie to him, he definitely wouldn't dare to go back. Only by letting him believe that the video is illusory can he return to Suong at ease. When the people from the Discipline Inspection and Investigation Bureau look for him, he will be surprised. Chou Yen was really lamenting that Tang Huabin had actually met Su Yun. This could be considered as his 8 lifetimes of bad luck. Thinking about all the things he had done in the past, now that he had fallen to such a state, it could only be said that he had asked for it. What you gave Tang Huabin is not a surprise, it's a shock. Su Yun admitted that he had used the wrong words, but regardless of whether it was a surprise or a shock, it was good enough that Tang Huabin was shocked. Before Su Yun left Suong, he had handed the video to Zhu Laohei and asked him to hand the video to the person in charge at night. He also told them that they could arrest him at the south station of the Suong Expressway. Although Zhu Laohei didn't have much strength, he was Su Yun's eyes and tentacles in Su Hong's underground world. It wasn't because he was trustworthy, but because Su Yun was certain that he wouldn't dare play any tricks in front of him. This was because Zhu Laohei knew his identity and knew the consequences of playing any tricks in front of him. Furthermore, Zhu Laohei didn't know what Su Yun had handed him. In any case, handing it to the secretary of the Provincial Discipline Inspection and Investigation Bureau would allow him to make a contribution in front of Su Yun. Why not? Now that Wang Rupiying had been interrogated, Zhu Laohei felt that although Tang Huabin was the one behind this matter, it definitely had something to do with Su Yun. Zhu Laohei was secretly glad that he hadn't stood on the wrong side. Wu Yuandong drove off the highway and headed north along the national highway. Meanwhile, Suong, which was far away from them, had undergone a drastic change. Sensing that something was wrong, Green Ghost went to the Waltz Hotel again. When he learned that Ling Jiling's room had been booked by someone else and then cancelled an hour ago, he finally understood that he had been one step behind the other party in his consideration of things. Then, something that made Green Ghost even angrier happened. He couldn't find Tang Huabin in the entire Su Hang city. A bad feeling rose in Green Ghost's heart. He went straight to the few young police officers who were in charge of the inspection at the Suzhou Expressway. Green Ghost knew that these people were Tang Huabin's confidants. After asking around, Green Ghost learned that Tang Huabin had sent a car onto the expressway. In an instant, Green Ghost understood everything. More than an hour had passed, and it was too late. After accepting this fact, Green Ghost left his contact information to these people and told them to inform them as soon as Tang Huabin returned. Just as Green Ghost left, the Commission for Discipline Inspection's car arrived and ordered everyone to strictly guard Tang Huabin. After seeing the video, Governor Ji was quite shocked. He believed that the person who gave him the video wouldn't be joking with him. Therefore, he completely believed that the person who gave him the video said that Tang Huabin would appear at the expressway. The police chief was suspected of intentional homicide. This was not a small matter. Therefore, Governor Ji personally brought people to arrest Tang Huabin. The person who gave him the video also gave him a note. The note said, "If you don't deal with the 2 vermin of Suong, Wang Rupiying and Tang Huabin, you should consider your own fate." The signature was the number 1024. Governor Ji knew the meaning of this number very well. Some extremely secret documents would be signed with this number. Therefore, he didn't suspect that this was an order from the higher-ups at all. What he didn't know was that in Su Yun's previous missions, many of the orders he received were signed with this code. Furthermore, the documents weren't stamped, so he knew that this code had a special meaning. As a high-ranking official of the Provincial Disciplinary Committee, he definitely knew the meaning of this code. It seemed like Su Yun had made the right bet. Sure enough, within half an hour, Tang Huabin returned in a private car. Seeing so many his own people at the expressway, Tang Huabin immediately got out of the car and ran over. As soon as he got out of the car, he saw the Provincial Commission for Discipline Inspection. However, before he could react, he was arrested. This was safe for him. After all, Green Ghost wouldn't be able to find him for a while. If Green Ghost caught Tang Hua Bin would definitely die. Green Ghost's lair was destroyed, and his right-hand men in Suong were all removed by the two rules. It could be said that he was back to square one in 1 day and 2 nights. Even though he had a lot of skills, it was absolutely impossible for him to fight alone in this dark tide of Suong. The car drove north on the national highway for more than 3 hours. Under Su Yun's command, Wu Yuandong got on the highway again. The first thing they did when they got on the highway was to go to the rest area. Su Yun knew very well that everyone must be hungry because none of them had time to eat. In order to keep a low profile, Ling Jiling and Cho Yun didn't get out of the car. Wu Yuandong drove to refuel. Su Yun went to buy 4 large portions of hot and fragrant skewers and gave Wu Yuandong a pack of cigarettes. Then, he hummed as he walked to the car. "I want to give you a sports car. At night, whisper in my ear, you can't afford to be hurt, I just want to be with you. Call me darling and don't say anything else. Then, we can eat hot pot and sing together." Now that they had left Suong and driven for 4 hours, Su Yun could completely relax. Even if there was an accident, it would take a while for Green Ghost to catch up with them. By then, they would have already returned to Ji Bay. If that bastard Green Ghost dared to cause trouble in Ji Bay, Su Yun believed that Zhou Meiyan wouldn't let him go. After all, the local tyrant of Ji Bay was the Sky Entertainment Group. However, just as he walked to the car, Su Yun heard Cho Yun's voice on the phone. "Guagua, listen to me. Don't run around. Even if you come to Ji Bay, you won't be able to find me. We're not in Ji Bay now. Even if you come, no one will play with you." Hearing this, Su Yun quickly got in the car, grabbed the phone, and asked, "Guess who I am?" "Dad, you haven't come back for so long. Do you not want me and Mom anymore?" Guagua snorted. It sounded like she was really angry. "Do you have a child outside? So you don't want to go back? You don't even think about me and Mom anymore?" Su Yun was scolded as soon as he answered the phone. He hurriedly said, "Of course not. I miss you so much. If Guagua wants to come to Ji Bay, you can come." Su Yun estimated that they would be back in about 4 hours. Therefore, even if Guagua and Ruan Qingshuang left immediately, he could still get back before them. "Is that so? Then why didn't Sister Cho Yun let us go? She even said that you weren't in Ji Bay." Guagua pouted and said, "Humph, I don't want to play with you. Mom is the only one who treats me the best. Mom plays with me. I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to go to Ji Bay. I want to go to Suong with Mom." Su Yun was so shocked by the little girl's last 2 words that he almost smashed his head through the roof of the car. "Guagua, be good. Don't be stubborn. Let Mom answer the phone." Su Yun had to stop them. However, there was no point in telling a child. He wanted to tell Ruan Qingshuang that Suong was not a peaceful place. He especially could not let Guagua appear in Suong. Guagua was a little reluctant. "All right then. I'll give you a few minutes to whisper. Does this mean that absence makes the heart grow fonder?" "Strange. Yes, it does." Su Yun was speechless. This little girl was too good at making metaphors. Ling Jiling was speechless. Was he trying to communicate with a 6 or 7-year-old girl? She looked at Cho Yun in disbelief. Cho Yun smiled helplessly and nodded. This was her Guagua, the real deal. Ruan Qingshuang quickly took the phone from Guagua's hand. She had not heard Su Yun's voice for many days. She was a little embarrassed. After all, she was not a child. Some of Guagua's words would always make her blush. "Sister Shuang, it's me." Su Yun's voice was obviously much gentler. Ling Jiling was very sensitive to this. She was not a cold-blooded girl like Cho Yun. She had delicate feelings and a 6th sense. Therefore, she could hear something unusual in Su Yun's voice. Ruan Qingshuang nodded. After a while, she said, "How are you guys? Have you dealt with Tang Jiu's family matters?" "It's all done. I'll go back with Cho Yun immediately. Don't take Guagua with you. It's quite chaotic out there. There are a lot of thieves and robbers roaming the streets when it's close to the new year. I'll be more at ease if you guys stay in Hadong. After all, Chong and the others are helping me take care of you. Su Yun did not directly tell them not to go out and play. He tactfully rejected Guagua's idea of going to Suong. Ruan Qingxuang suddenly did not know how to explain on the phone. She was stunned for a long time. In the end, it was Guagua who broke the silence. She shouted into the phone, "Dad, Mom and I have already arrived in Suong. Hee, we just got off the train. We just wanted to give you a call. We were afraid that you would be scared if you couldn't find Mom in Hadong. Don't worry. It's not that, Mom and I don't want you anymore. We just want to take advantage of the weekend to relax." Already in Suong? Just got off the train? Su Yun really hoped that he was hallucinating. However, these words came from Guagua. Su Yun knew that it was not a joke. A child's entire home had been taken away. It had been so long. It was understandable that she wanted to go home. She wanted to go back to her own city. Chapter 297. Guagua didn't mean to cause trouble for Su Yun. She just thought of her real home, so she wanted to sneak to Suong for a day. Guagua had told Ruan Qingxuang not to let it slip, but she accidentally said it herself. Since Guagua admitted it, Ruan Qingxuang didn't hide it anymore. After all, it's the weekend. I haven't had time to play with Guagua, so I took her here after school on Friday. But don't worry, I'll take care of her. We've already bought tickets for the high-speed train back on Sunday afternoon. I promise it won't affect Guagua's school time on Monday. After all, Ruan Qingxuang didn't know much about Guagua's family. She also didn't know about the power struggle in the underground world, so she didn't understand what it meant to bring Guagua here. She didn't understand the danger. If she did, Su Yun believed that no matter how much Guagua pestered her, she wouldn't bring Guagua to Suong. Therefore, Su Yun didn't blame Ruan Qingxuang. She wasn't wrong. What was wrong was him and Cho Yun leaving them and Guagua alone in Hadong City. If something happened to Guagua and Ruan Qingxuang, Su Yun would only blame himself. Cho Yun's heart was in her throat. She couldn't believe that Guagua and Ruan Qingxuang went to Suong. In an instant, Cho Yun lost control of her emotions. She went forward and grabbed the phone in Su Yun's hand and shouted, "Sister Qingxuang, are you crazy? How can you bring Guagua to Suong? I want you to take Guagua away right now. Leave. Hurry up and leave that place. If anything happens to Guagua, I won't forgive you." Su Yun's expression changed. He snatched the phone back from Cho Yun. "Cho Yun, can't you control your emotions a little? Who was the cause of all these things? Think about it carefully. If you didn't sneak out of Hadong City, none of this would happen today. What right do you have to blame Sister Shuang? Sister Shuang doesn't know anything. Guagua is just a child. If anything happens to them, it's your responsibility. It's because of your own stubbornness, because you don't care about the consequences. Do you understand?" After being yelled at by Su Yun, Cho Yun didn't say anything else. She instantly looked listless, and her legs even felt weak. She knew that Su Yun was right. Everything was her fault. If she hadn't been stubborn and insisted on coming to Suong, none of this would have happened. Su Yun had reminded her and warned her not to act recklessly, but she didn't listen. "Su Yun, even if something happened, you don't have to yell at a girl like this. Cho Yun's body has always been weak. How can a man like you not know how to treat a girl like her?" When Ling Zhiling heard Su Yun yelling at Cho Yun like this, she immediately stood up to speak up for Cho Yun. She didn't know what happened between them. She only knew that Su Yun was yelling at Cho Yun for another woman. Ling Zhiling had never seen Ruan Qingxuang before, so she naturally chose to stand by Cho Yun's side. "It wasn't Cho Yun who brought your precious goddaughter to Suong. What right do you have to treat her like this? The people at the high-speed railway station are important to you, but isn't Cho Yun important to you? If Cho Yun isn't important to you, why did you take such a big risk to save her? Su Yun, You can't treat her like this. If you really treat me as your sister, you have to apologize to Cho Yun. I'm sorry, it's my emotional problem. Su Yun knew that his attitude was indeed a little impatient, but it was difficult for him to control himself in this kind of matter. He had just saved Cho Yun from the tiger's mouth, and now Ruan Qingxuang and Guagua had walked right into his trap. How could he not be worried? Right now, Suong was a mess, and it was not something that could be cleaned up in a short period of time. Ruan Qingxuang, on the other end of the phone, did not react for a while. Other than Su Yun and Cho Yun, there was a third person's voice, and it was a girl's voice. The girl's voice was very pleasant. Su Yun, help me apologize to Cho Yun. I really didn't do it on purpose. I just didn't want Guagua to be disappointed. Otherwise, the high-speed train will definitely not be available tonight. I'll go and see what time the earliest departure time is tomorrow. I'll take Guagua back tomorrow morning. Sister Shuang, it has nothing to do with this. I can understand that you took Guagua out to relax, and I can also understand that Guagua wants to go back to Suong. You can't blame this, it's my fault. Su Yun did indeed blame himself for this matter. How about this, Sister Shuang, do as I say. Don't leave the high-speed train station. I'll rush over to pick you up immediately. It'll take at most 4 hours. If Guagua is sleepy, you can hug her and sleep for a while. Su Yun looked at his watch. It was already 9:30 at night. If they rushed all the way over, they would definitely arrive between 1 and 2 in the morning. You must remember my words. Don't take Guagua out of the high-speed train station. I understand. Ruan Qingxuang nodded. She could already hear that something was wrong from Su Yun and Cho Yun's anxious voices. It was as if Suong had become hell on earth. However, Ruan Qingxuang knew very well that Su Yun would not casually make such a joke. Since he did not allow them to leave the high-speed train station, she would definitely watch over Guagua and wait for them to pick her and Guagua up. Guagua rolled her eyes. Dad, where are you? You can't get here in 4 hours from Ji Bei, right? Guagua, you have to listen to your mother obediently now. Do you understand? Su Yun did not have time to explain this to Guagua. Listen carefully, that person is still in Suong. He will threaten your safety, so you must stay in the high-speed train station. If you want to play, Dad will bring you to Hong Kong Disneyland tomorrow. But now, you must be obedient and stay with Mom. Then you'll keep your word. Guagua's eyes lit up when she heard that she could go to Disneyland. Then I promise to watch over Mom and not let her run around. Dad, don't worry. Alright, Dad, I have another question to ask you. You have to tell me the truth. Su Yun had to listen to Guagua now. Ask away. Dad will tell you whatever you ask. I'm a dog if I lie to you. Are you with Sister Jiling? Guagua's question shocked Su Yun. Ling Jiling and Cho Yun looked at each other. They could not believe that Guagua's sixth sense was so strong that she could even guess someone she had never met before. Su Yun took a long time to react. Could it be that Guagua was the legendary special human with the ability to predict the future? If Guagua really had that kind of special ability, then she would be the country's treasure. Guagua, tell Dad, how did you know? Su Yun's excitement now was no less than Columbus's excitement when he discovered the new world. This was not a joke. Guagua exclaimed, Dad, you're not really with Sister Jiling, are you? She's my idol. Tell Dad, how did you know? Is it perception? Guagua, other than perception, what else can you perceive? Su Yun tried to induce Guagua to develop this special ability. But unfortunately, Guagua sighed helplessly. Dad, I heard Sister Jiling's words just now. In this world, other than me, only Sister Jiling can speak so sweetly. Do you still need perception? Hee hee. Su Yun laughed dryly. It seemed that Guagua's perception was not good, but her hearing was better. Guagua, be good. Wait for me at the high-speed railway station. I'll bring Sister Jiling to find you immediately. Guagua suddenly widened her eyes. Wow, Dad, Sister Jiling is a big star. What did you do for my sister Xiao Jiu? How much money did she give you? You can actually ask Sister Zhiling out? I heard that a meal with Sister Zhiling costs hundreds of thousands to millions. If it's a date, it must be more expensive, right? After hearing this gossip, Su Yun was really speechless. Fortunately, Ling Zhiling was beside him. She directly took the phone from Su Yun's hand. Little kid, I know you're not even 7 years old this year, so don't look at those rumors and gossip news in the future. Sister Zhiling, I never go to a meal to earn money, and I definitely won't use all the money earned from the meal to get the attention of the media. Do you understand? Then, if I want to treat you to a meal, I don't need to spend money, right? Guagua said seriously. As long as you listen to your dad and wait for us at the high-speed railway station to pick you up, Sister Zhiling will treat you to a meal. Is that okay? Ling Zhiling didn't forget to help Su Yun at this time. When Guagua heard this, of course, she agreed without hesitation. This was such a good thing. There was a meal to eat, and she could take a photo with a celebrity. If she took it to show off to her friends in class, they would definitely be stunned. Okay. I won't leave even a step. You guys come quickly. After hanging up the phone, Su Yun faintly said thank you to Ling Zhiling. Ling Zhiling pondered for a long time and felt that something was wrong. Your goddaughter calls me sister. Does that make me lower my seniority in front of you? No, I have to tell her later to call me auntie in front of us. Sister Zhiling, you're everyone's sister. Who asked you to be so young? Su Yun smiled and handed the hot skewers to them. Just make do with it. We'll go after eating. After speaking, Su Yun handed one of the skewers to Wu Yuan Dong at the partition window. Brother Dong, you're tired today. When we go back, I'll drive. You rest for a while. Wu Yuan Dong shook his head while eating. I'm used to it. It's better for me to drive. Your mind must be in a mess right now. Safety first. If you drive, I think they'll definitely be worried. Also, I'm familiar with the roads in Suong. After getting off the highway, there's a highway to the high-speed railway station. I'll be able to get there before 1 a.m. You can rest at ease for a while. And then I'll listen to you. Su Yun finished speaking and placed the cigarette on the passenger seat for Wu Yuandong. Go after eating to refresh yourself. Chapter 298. After Guagua hung up the phone, she said excitedly to Ruan Qingxuang, Mom, there will be a big star coming to treat us to a meal later. Dad and Sister Cho Yun are together with Sister Zhiling. It's so strange, and they seem to have a good relationship. Could it be that Dad is outside behind Mom's back? Guagua, are you sure that the person who spoke was really Ling Zhiling? Ruan Qingxuang didn't mind Guagua's childish words, but thinking about it carefully, Su Yun's age was the peak period of male hormone secretion. Facing the national goddess Ling Zhiling, she really didn't dare to say that Su Yun wouldn't have any thoughts. If he didn't have any thoughts, it would be abnormal, right? At the same time, she was also puzzled about why Su Yun and the others would walk together with Ling Zhiling. It must be Sister Zhiling, Guagua nodded seriously. I definitely didn't hear it wrong. Since I was young, people have said that I'm little Zhiling, Ruan Qingxuang was absolutely speechless about Guagua's words. There was no logic in it. Ling Zhiling was famous for her devilish figure and angelic face. Although Guagua was very sure that she was a beauty, could her figure really be so domineering? She really didn't know who gave her the name Little Zhiling. Guagua wasn't moved by the surprised expression on Ruan Qingxuang's face. She still believed that she would definitely be a woman sexier than Sister Zhiling in the future. The confidence in her bones was born with Guagua. Are you hungry? We have to wait here for 4 hours. Mom will bring you to the supermarket to buy some food, okay? Ruan Qingxuang asked. They had to wait for so long. She was afraid that Guagua wouldn't be able to hold on. It was better to buy her some snacks and the like to change her mind. Of course, Guagua nodded in agreement. Of course, she didn't even have a good meal in the afternoon because she wanted to catch the high-speed train. Just as the two of them got up to go to the supermarket in the high-speed rail station, 6 men in black suits suddenly walked up quickly and surrounded Ruan Qingxuang and Guagua. Ruan Qingxuang's heart instantly jumped to her throat. She hugged Guagua in her arms and looked at the 6 people in front of her warily. The high-speed railway station was crowded with people. Ruan Qingxuang was prepared. If the other party dared to attack her and Guagua, she would scream for help. She didn't believe that there wasn't a good person in the station. Guagua also wrinkled her nose and looked at the 6 guys who surrounded them with an unconvinced look. As long as these people dared to make a move on her mother, she would not be polite. As soon as they got off the train at the Suong high-speed railway station, Guagua felt like a local landlord. Guagua! A middle-aged man suddenly walked out from behind the 6 men in black suits. He looked at Guagua, who was in Ruan Qingxuang's arms, with a shocked expression. Guagua was slightly stunned. Looking at the middle-aged man in front of her, her expression suddenly became happy. She let go of Ruan Qingxuang without fear and walked to the middle-aged man's side. She called out sweetly, "Uncle Chow, why are you here? I should be the one who is surprised." The middle-aged man seemed to be very familiar with Guagua. He bent down and pulled Guagua to his side. He pointed at Ruan Qingxuang and asked with a serious expression, "She is?" Guagua immediately ran to Ruan Qingxuang with a smile and took the initiative to introduce her. "This is my mother. If it weren't for my mother, I'm afraid I wouldn't know where I am now." The middle-aged man stared at Guagua and Ruan Qingxuang with wide eyes. After a few seconds, he seemed to realize something. "What are you doing here?" "Mom and I are going to the supermarket to buy some food." He. Guagua smiled and said, "We still have to wait here for 4 hours. It's a long time without chips, so we have to go there." The middle-aged man immediately made a decision. He stepped forward and took Guagua's hand. "Let's go. Uncle will take you and your mother to my house for supper." Ruan Qingxuang knew that Guagua must know this man when the man asked her to come, but she still declined tactfully. "No, it's too embarrassing. We are waiting here." As she spoke, Ruan Qingxuang had already pulled Guagua from the middle-aged man's side to her side. The middle-aged man was slightly stunned. "Haha, it seems that you are a very competent mother. But you have to wait for 4 hours. I will take you back to eat something now. When the time is almost up, I will send you back. Mom, Uncle Tang is not an outsider." Guagua seemed to trust this uncle very much. She was not afraid of him at all. Thinking about it, 4 hours was indeed a long time. It would be great if they could take a ride in the downtown area of Suong. It had been a long time since they saw the famous Fat West Lake at their doorstep. It had also been a long time since they went to see the maple forest on Mount Fu. It had also been a long time since they went shopping on the gorgeous Jiangbin East Road. "Why don't we go there?" Ruan Qingxuang would not agree to Guagua's request. She frowned and did not say anything. After all, Su Yun had repeatedly told them not to let them leave the high-speed railway station. Ruan Qingxuang, who felt that she had made a mistake, would never allow herself to make another mistake. "Miss, although I don't know how you and Guagua know each other, I don't think I have seen you in Suong before. It seems that you don't know about my relationship with Guagua's family," the middle-aged man said calmly. The middle-aged man said indifferently, "I'm not the kind of bad person you think I am. Otherwise, Guagua wouldn't call me uncle." Guagua nodded excitedly, especially looking forward to Ruan Qingxuang agreeing to her request. She did not doubt Uncle Tang at all. "Mom, let's go. Just for a while. There are still 4 hours. I promise you, I will definitely rush back before Dad comes here. He won't know." When he heard Guagua say the word Dad, the middle-aged man was stunned. However, the shock on his face disappeared in an instant. "No, didn't Guagua already promise Dad that she will stay here obediently? Besides, don't you remember? You also promised Sister Jiling. She also told you to wait for her here obediently. Guagua has already promised them. How can I do something that will disappoint them?" Ruan Qingxuang insisted. Guagua pouted and did not say anything else. "By the way, Guagua, I still have a photo album of your grandfather. I don't have the chance to see him now. Since I have seen you today, I'll give it to you." When the middle-aged man said this, Guagua's eyes widened. Guagua had already given up on the idea of leaving, but now she was burning with passion again. Ruan Qingxuang's heart softened when she heard this. She more or less heard some things about Guagua's family. Although she did not understand how serious it was, she knew that Guagua had lost contact with her family. Now that she heard that someone else had something that belonged to Guagua's family, she also wanted to help Guagua get it back. Since this person's home had a photo album of Guagua's grandfather, he probably had a deep relationship with Guagua's family. Perhaps he was an old acquaintance of Guagua's grandfather. Therefore, Ruan Qingxuang naturally trusted this middle-aged man more. "Then, can I ask for a favor? Guagua and I will go to your house to get something, but can you send us back?" Ruan Qingxuang asked tentatively. The middle-aged man smiled slightly. "Of course. Since I took you away, I will naturally be responsible for sending you back. You can rest assured about this. Believe me, I have absolutely no malice toward you. Guagua is the child of an old friend of mine. I like her very much." Ruan Qingxuang did not see anything wrong with this man. "Because Guagua is very cute, everyone will like her. In that case, we will go with you. Sorry to trouble you." "It's no trouble at all." The middle-aged man smiled, and the 6 bodyguards beside him immediately cleared the way for them. The group of people sat in a 7 Series BMW parked at the entrance. The BMW was escorted by a Land Cruiser in front and behind. The 3 cars quickly left the high-speed railway station and disappeared from people's sight. After Wu Yuandong rushed all the way to the high-speed railway station, Su Yun and Cho Yun did not wait for the car to stop. They opened the door and rushed to the hall of the high-speed railway station to look for the people. Ling Jieling also quickly followed the 2 out of the car. She was not only worried about the cute little Guagua, but also curious about what kind of woman Su Yun would have such a special feeling for. Su Yun and Cho Yun came to the entrance of the hall. They were told that they could not enter without a ticket. At this time, Ling Jieling suddenly appeared behind them and said in her standard voice, "We are here to look for someone. It's really urgent. I hope you can make an exception." How could a man resist Ling Jieling's pleading? Moreover, she was such a big star. Then the 3 of them entered the waiting hall. However, what Su Yun could not understand was that they searched every corner of the high-speed railway station but did not see the figure of Ruan Qingxuang and Guagua. In the end, Cho Yun and Ling Jieling looked everywhere in the bathroom, but still did not see anyone. A feeling of uneasiness began to spread in the hearts of the 3 people. Su Yun, who had always been very calm, finally could not help it. He quickly dialed Ruan Qingxuang's phone. An inexplicable evil fire rose in his heart. Even if it was Ruan Qingxuang, he was afraid that he could not help it. After all, he had told her so many times, but she still left with Guagua. "Hello." An unfamiliar coarse man's voice, accompanied by the light sound of a pipa, came from the phone. Su Yun was instantly stunned. Although the voice was unfamiliar, he seemed to have heard it somewhere before. However, the person who answered the phone at this time was not Ruan Qingxuang, which meant that Su Yun had a stronger sense of uneasiness. "Who are you? If you dare to touch a hair on their heads, I will make you regret it for the rest of your life. Who I am is not important. What's important is that the person you are looking for is in my hands." The voice was cold and ruthless. "So, now you have no right to threaten me. If you threaten me again, I can make you never see them again. Humph, young man, contact me when you understand." Chapter 299. What the hell happened? Ling Jieling was completely at a loss. Seeing Su Yun's current state, she knew that something must have happened. Just as Cho Yun was about to ask him, Su Yun turned around and rushed into the bathroom. He directly put his head under the water pipe. The cold water angrily washed Su Yun's head, and he quickly recovered his calm state. Su Yun was very clear that he must not panic at this time. Once he lost his mind and couldn't stay awake, everything would be troublesome. At this time, Su Yun couldn't count on Ling Jiling and Wu Yuandong. Chou Yun was already in a mess after not being able to find Guagua. His only hope was on Su Yun. He had to force himself to stay awake, even if his current anger was unbearable for anyone. In this city, Chou Yun and Guagua were in trouble one after another. Now, Ruan Qingxuang was in danger with Guagua. How could Su Yun not collapse? A whole minute later, Su Yun Kai lifted his head from under the water pipe. He allowed the cold water to flow down his neck and clothes. The words that the voice had said echoed in his mind. "Young man, contact me after you figure it out." Young man? Young man. Su Yun's mind kept thinking about this name. How did the other party know that he was young? Obviously, that person must have known Su Yun. They had seen Su Yun and knew Su Yun. At this time, two young girls walked into the bathroom through the public area of the bathroom. One of them was holding a phone and playing an elegant lyrical song. She said to the other girl, "I just learned this. This is the song I played. My mother recorded it for me. What do you think?" "Very good. You've improved a lot. I've been learning the pipa for 2 years, but I still haven't learned this song." "You've only been learning it for a year, and you've already learned it. Tian, you're really a musical genius." The two girls walked into the bathroom while talking and laughing, and that elegant and beautiful lyrical music kept ringing in Su Yun's ears. The pipa music was like a painting of mountains and rivers, showing the beautiful scenery of nature in the quiet spring night, the moon rising in the eastern mountain, the small boat rippling on the river, and the shadows of flowers gently swaying on the west bank, scene by scene in front of Su Yun's eyes. The music of this pipa song was beautiful and had a tight structure. Although there were many changes to the theme and melody, and new elements were emerging one after another, the same phrase was used at the end of each section, which sounded very harmonious. That was right. It was the moonlit night of the spring river. Su Yun's mind instantly became much clearer. In the Qing dynasty, Yao Xie's late work, Textual Research on Today's Music, he listed the Sunset Flute and Drum Song as a Chinese song in the Jiangnan School's pipa repertoire. In the 1920s, a new music society in Shanghai adapted it into a folk music ensemble, and according to the poetic and picturesque content of the music, they named it Moonlit Night of the Spring River. It couldn't be wrong. When Su Yun first heard this pipa song in a military art troupe, he felt that this song was very special, so it left a deep impression on him. However, that was a few years ago after all. The reason why Su Yun could remember it was because he had heard this song in the Qin Guild Hall when he first arrived in Suong. That was why he was enlightened. Thinking back to the voice that answered the phone just now, who else could it be other than Chao Nanshan? Su Yun instantly figured everything out. He had always felt that Chao Nanshan was not trustworthy, but when he was in Suong, Chao Nanshan did not cause any trouble for Su Yun. At first, Su Yun was still wary of him, but later, he gradually did not take Chao Nanshan seriously. Only now did Su Yun realize that he was wrong, and very wrong at that. Chao Nanshan must have something to do with Green Ghost. Otherwise, why would Green Ghost let Chao Nanshan go when he cleaned up all the old underground forces in Suong? Although Chao Nanshan was much younger than Feng Qian Sui, he was still around 55 years old. If he had not submitted to Green Ghost, he would not have been able to continue protecting his club. However, why did Chao Nanshan not inform Green Ghost when he knew that Su Yun was looking for trouble with Green Ghost? The reason was very simple. Thinking about it carefully, Chao Nanshan wanted nothing more than for both sides to suffer. He wanted to be a fisherman. He hoped that when the sandpiper and the clam fought, he would be able to easily benefit. Su Yun clenched his fists so tightly that they made cracking sounds. The anger in his heart had completely exploded. Since they kept stirring up trouble again and again, he wouldn't be polite anymore. If Green Ghost could turn the clouds and rain in Suong, then he, Su Yun, could also dye half the sky in Suong with blood. The truth was not too different from what Su Yun had speculated. Chao Nanshan did indeed have an unspeakable relationship with Green Ghost, and the reason why Chao Nanshan appeared at the high-speed rail station was because of Green Ghost's request. He wanted him to go to the high-speed rail station to catch people. Chao Nanshan had guessed that Su Yun must have given Green Ghost a big blow, which was why Green Ghost was so angry that he wanted to seal off Suong to take revenge. However, what Chao Nanshan did not expect was that after 2 days of monitoring the high-speed railway station, he did not find Su Yun, but found Feng Chensue's precious granddaughter, Feng Guagua. Because the relationship between the two families was good, Guagua was not unfamiliar with Chao Nanshan, which was why she left with Chao Nanshan. However, how could a little girl who was not even 7 years old understand the darkness of the adult world? Although Guagua was already monstrous and cunning enough, she would never have guessed that it was not only Green Ghost's own strength that caused the Feng family to fall apart, but also Chao Nanshan who was secretly adding fuel to the fire. However, even if Chao Nanshan was such a sinister old fox, Guagua still thought that he was an old acquaintance of her grandfather, which was why she believed him. After being brought to such a strange place, Ruan Qingxuang regretted it so much that her intestines turned green. After she and Guagua were locked in this room, they had no autonomy at all. Although the people who brought them here did not do anything to them, they lost their freedom and their way of contacting the outside world because Ruan Qingxuang's phone was borrowed by Chao Nanshan. Guagua still couldn't believe that Uncle Chao would imprison her. At first, Guagua thought it was a joke. But after they were imprisoned in this room, there were 8 people guarding the door. Guagua finally understood that Uncle Chao was serious about this. Although it was already 1 o'clock in the morning, after Chao Nanshan hung up the call with Su Yun, he could still leisurely drink his tea. This feeling was too good. He captured someone who was very important to Su Yun. Su Yun would definitely think that it was Green Ghost who did it and would definitely go against Green Ghost. Green Ghost was already a general without an army, and Su Yun did not have any helpers by his side. Once the two sides were exhausted, it would be time for Chao Nanshan to reap the benefits. That's right. Chao Nanshan not only wanted to deal with Su Yun, he also wanted to kill Green Ghost. It should be known that when Green Ghost entered Suong, everything was done by Chao Nanshan. Originally, the two of them had agreed to split the Suong world. However, after Green Ghost eliminated the Feng family, he actually got involved with Pluto. This time, Green Ghost did not take what Chao Nanshan said to heart at all. When the Feng family completely collapsed and Chao Nanshan proposed to split the world, Green Ghost actually told him that if he didn't want to die, he should obediently continue to do what he should do. From the beginning, Green Ghost did not want to split the Suong underground world with Chao Nanshan. Therefore, at that time, Chao Nanshan had the idea of revenge. Although he had the idea, he really did not have the strength. After all, Green Ghost was not a simple person. Moreover, he had the support of Pluto, so Chao Nanshan could not do anything at all. At this time, Su Yun appeared. Chao Nanshan vaguely felt that he had a chance. Even if he couldn't meet Guagua at the high-speed train station, he would still find a way to provoke Su Yun and make Su Yun continue to fight with Green Ghost. Chao Nanshan imagined that Su Yun was his chess piece, just like the rook in chess. He could kill all sides vertically and horizontally. During the entire process, Chao Nanshan did not even need to show his face. Even if he offended Pluto in the end, all the dirty water would be poured on Su Yun. Perhaps Chao Nanshan was too naive, or perhaps Su Yun, this rook, was really not that easy to control. Chao Nanshan could not understand why after Su Yun hung up the call with him, he came directly to him instead of Green Ghost. This was Chao Nanshan's biggest miscalculation in his life. He clearly pretended to be a bit hoarse when he called, but in the end, it did not escape Su Yun's ears. If it wasn't for the Pipa song called Spring River Moonlight Night, Su Yun might not have been able to recognize that voice as Chao Nanshan's. Chao Nanshan did not think that the reason Su Yun saw through everything and came straight to him was because he liked to pretend to be elegant. To be honest, Chao Nanshan did not even know what a pipa was, so how could he like pipa songs? He just wanted to find some bright spots in the clubhouse to enhance the taste of the clubhouse. Only in this way would the members like to stay here. In fact, Chao Nanshan was very clear that not every member of his clubhouse had such a taste, but every member wanted others to think that they had such a taste. Wu Yuandong sat in the front passenger seat, tightly holding onto the safety handle above. He always thought that he was good at driving, but he did not expect Su Yun to be so good at driving. It could only be described with one word: domineering. Although this custom-made Mercedes-Benz RV had the same terrifying 6.0L twin-turbocharged V12 engine as the S65, with 612 horsepower and 1,000 Nm power parameters, many cars dreamed of having half of its power to be called a performance car. However, it was still a RV. Su-Yun was probably the only person in the world who could drive a RV like a sports car. If Wu Yuandong, who was in the driver's seat, had this kind of feeling, let alone Cho Yun and Ling Jiling, who were sitting in the back. Cho Yun was still holding onto the armrest, but Ling Jiling did not have that much strength. If it wasn't for Cho Yun holding onto her, she would have fainted from Su Yun's barbaric driving. However, they all understood Su Yun's feelings, so no one complained. Chapter 300. Soon, Su Yun arrived at the Chin Club according to the route that the taxi took him that day. The Chin Club was still brightly lit, and there were many luxury cars. There were 2 security staff standing on both sides of the entrance and exit lever at the entrance of the club. They were responsible for raising and lowering the lever for every car that came in and out. However, when Su Yun drove the RV to the entrance, the 2 people didn't mean to open the door for him. One of them walked forward and knocked on Su Yun's window. "Hello, please show me your boss's membership pass. It's the first time our boss came here, so he hasn't processed it yet." Su Yun didn't have time to talk nonsense with him. "Raise the lever and let me in. Then please show your boss's proof of introduction." The security guard still didn't mean to let him in. It seemed that the management of the Chin Club was much stricter now. At least, there weren't so many problems when Su Yun came here last time. Su Yun said coldly, "There is no introduction." The security guard shook his head. "I'm sorry, sir. Your boss's car can't drive inside." Wang. However, when Su Yun stepped on the accelerator, the security guard quickly retreated to the side. If he was hit, he would be disabled even if he didn't die. Bang. When Su Yun drove the RV overbearingly through the guardrail and rushed into the high-end clubhouse, Wu Yuandong knew that he would not be able to stay idle tonight. A person who could afford such a large and luxurious clubhouse was definitely not a simple person. Su Yun barging in like this clearly showed his position. However, after Su Yun broke through the guardrail, he still didn't mean to stop the RV. Instead, he stepped on the accelerator directly in front of the reception hall. He crazily ran up 3 flights of stairs and crashed through all the floor-to-ceiling glass doors and windows in the reception area of the front hall. The sound of glass beads shattering could be heard as the explosion-proof glass shattered and fell all over the floor. Even if the RV had already driven in, there were a lot of security staff in an instant, but Su Yun still didn't mean to stop. Suddenly, he stepped on the brakes and turned the steering wheel. With his control over the car, the RV made a beautiful drift in the room even though it was at such a height. Su Yun was not trying to act cool. After all, there were 2 girls, Cho Yun and Ling Jiling, in the passenger compartment of the RV. This tail drift would definitely make Ling Jiling dizzy. During the entire process of the tail drift, Su Yun forcefully knocked away a few strong men who were trying to get close to the RV. Therefore, he was not trying to act cool for no reason. The moment the RV stopped, someone suddenly rushed forward and grabbed Wu Yuandong, who was in the passenger seat, through the lowered window. He suddenly exerted force and tried to pull the person in the RV out. However, Wu Yuandong was not someone to be trifled with. He clasped the security guard who was holding his arm and suddenly threw him forward with great force. The security guard flew out without any ability to resist. On the other side, the security guard who rushed to the driver's seat to deal with Su Yun was slapped in the face by the door that suddenly opened. Before he could react to the pain on his face, he felt a hard blow on his throat. He didn't even have time to shout before he directly sat on the ground. Cho Yun, who quickly opened the rear compartment, did not hesitate to join the battle. With a beautiful phoenix tail swing, her heel directly hit the temple of a security guard who came forward. Wu Yuandong, who had already gotten out of the RV, reached out and stopped a guy who wanted to help his companion to deal with Cho Yun. His 5 fingers were like iron pliers clasping the guy's face. He directly slammed the guy's head against the wall, instantly making the guy lose the will to fight. The 4 security guards at the front door and the front hall were instantly dealt with. This was nothing to be proud of. They were all arranged by some ordinary security company. It didn't matter if they were just standing guard, but if it was a real fight, even a third-rate master could easily deal with them, let alone Cho Yun, Wu Yuandong, and a supermaster like Su Yun. The only burden, Ling Jiling, got out of the RV. She was stunned for a long time, but she still didn't understand why a fight broke out without saying anything. And why was it in this club? Ling Jiling had been to this club before. She had accompanied Zhuo Meiyan to meet a big-shot director in the entertainment industry, so she knew what kind of people were in this club. In the simplest words, they were either rich or noble. Moreover, when Ling Jiling and Zhuo Meiyan came here together, they encountered some friction between Boss Chow and a very powerful person. The other party brought more than 100 people to cause trouble, but they were all easily dealt with by the boss. So Ling Jiling admired the boss. At the very least, she was sure that the boss was not simple. Crown Prince. No, brother, why are we here? Ling Jiling was absolutely confused. Even if Green Ghost is here, you can't do this. You will offend the boss. Su Yun sneered, since the boss dares to offend me, why can't I offend him? He attacked my people first, so don't blame me for being ruthless. Su Yun stared at the 3 girls at the reception desk, who were already scared silly. Where is Chao Nanshan? Cho Yun frowned. Of course, she had already recognized that this was the Qin Club. She whispered to Su Yun, how do you know Chao Nanshan? Why do you say that Guagua is with him? Su Yun could still hear the faint sound of a pipa in the inner courtyard of the clubhouse. Because of this song, Spring River Moonlight Night, Cho Yan's expression changed. Indeed, this pipa song was the background music of the Qin Club, which had never changed. Every time she came here, she would hear this song. Obviously, Cho Yun seemed to understand something. Wait, you mean the boss here? Ling Jiling opened her eyes wide. Is there a misunderstanding? Brother, don't be impulsive. Boss Zhuo knows Boss Chow here. Why don't you call him first? If there is a misunderstanding, we won't make a big deal out of it. It's useless even if he knows God. Su Yun's voice was resolute and decisive. Clap, clap, clap. A person suddenly appeared in the hall, clapping his hands. Su Yun had seen this person before. It was Manager Zhai. Mr. Su, with your driving skills, if you don't participate in the cross-country rally, it will be a waste of your talent. I don't know what wind blew Mr. Su here. Master Chow is deeply honored. But Master Chow can't figure out who offended Mr. Su and made you so angry. But Mr. Su, you can be angry, but it won't be good if the city gate is on fire and the fish in the moat suffer. Speaking of this, Manager Zhai suddenly froze. He rubbed his eyes hard to confirm that one of the 2 women standing beside Su Yun was the violent fox Venerable. Cho Yun. Why are you here? Are you surprised? Golden Eagle, if my young lady is in your hands, you'd better ask Master Chow to hand her over quickly. Otherwise, don't blame me for not considering our friendship. Cho Yun said coldly, I don't care who it is. As long as he dares to have any evil thoughts about Guagua, I won't let him go. Ha ha ha, Cho Yun, do you still think you are the omnipotent fox Venerable beside Feng Qiansui? Do you still think you can rely on Feng Qiansui to command Suong? Manager Zhai sneered, Fox Venerable, you'd better wake up. Suong is no longer under Feng Qiansui's rule. Don't think that we will listen to you no matter what you say. Su Yun knew that Manager Zhai's skills were not bad that day. He did not expect this guy to be the famous Golden Eagle in the underground world. This person also had 2 big cases, but he did not leave any evidence. This was enough to prove this guy's strength. Then I want to see what ability you have to not listen. Cho Yun suddenly attacked as soon as she finished speaking. She raised her fist and attacked Di Jindiao's face. Di Jindiao's expression changed drastically. He quickly retreated to avoid Cho Yun's attack. Fox Venerable, don't push your luck. This is not your Feng family's courtyard. This is Master Chow's clubhouse. I won't fight with you. You'd better take care of yourself. Master Chow is not feeling well today and does not want to see guests. Everyone, please go back. If you insist on barging in, don't blame me for not reminding you that this is not a place where anyone can come as they wish. If anyone dares to mess with me, don't blame me for being rude. Su Yun pointed at the French windows and doors in the front hall that had been destroyed by him. I've already moved. What should I do? You. Di Jindiao's expression changed drastically. Master Chow asked him to come out and find a way to send everyone away. Chow Nanshan did not expect Su Yun to come here. Now that Feng Guagua and Ruan Qingshuang were still in the clubhouse, he had no time to send them away. If they really broke in, he would be in big trouble. Chow Nanshan was shocked when the surveillance room sent the video to his office. He could not believe that Su Yun had come to his clubhouse. Chow Nanshan called Di Jindiao to his office immediately and asked him to find a way to send them away no matter what. Now was not the time to fight with them. Chow Nanshan wanted to be a fisherman, not a stupid clam fighting with a snipe. He wanted Green Ghost to be the fisherman. However, Di Jindiao did not notice Cho Yun's existence at all. Now that he saw Cho Yun was also there, he lost confidence in himself. It seemed that if the other party was not so sure that the Feng family's princess was here, they would not be so powerful. Master Chow is not a narrow-minded person. After all, he is friends with the Feng family and has some connections with you, Mr. Su. As for Miss Ling, it is not the first time that she has come here, so Master Chow does not want to pursue this matter. Di Jindiao wanted to justify himself. If it were me, I would not be so magnanimous. But Master Chow is broad-minded. I hope you will not disappoint Master Chow's kindness. Chapter 301. Although Wu Yuandong had taken Zhua Meiyan to this club before, he had waited in the car every time. He had never come in, so the people here didn't know him. After Wu Yuandong smashed the chandelier down, he said to Di Jindiao with a smile, "I don't seem to have anything to do with Mr. Chow. I also made trouble for him. Are you going to let me go too?" Wu Yuandong's motive for doing this was very clear. He was very clear about the purpose of Su Yun's visit this time. As the saying goes, don't slap a smiling face. The other party obviously wanted to use this kind of method that seemed to repay evil with good, but concealed a conspiracy to appease them. Therefore, Wu Yuandong needed to do something that seemed to be excessive. He wanted to give Mr. Chow a reason to be angry. If Mr. Chow wasn't angry, it meant that he must have a guilty conscience. If you are friends with Mr. Su and Miss Ling, I hope you can respect us. Di Jindiao's shrewdness was not shallow. He could hide many things, but he was really angered by Wu Yuandong's words just now. But thinking of Chow Nanshan's order, Di Jindiao suppressed his anger. Su Yun smiled. He pointed at Wu Yuandong and said to Di Jindiao, "Manager Di, if I tell you that this person has nothing to do with us, what will you do? Will you let him defecate on Mr. Chow's head?" Di Jindiao's face changed. "Mr. Su, if this person has nothing to do with you, then I'm sorry. There is only one end for those who dare to make trouble in the Qin Club. Even if I don't say it, you should know that it will not be a good end. But today, Mr. Chow gave you face. I hope you won't be so aggressive." Yes. Let's not do this again. Maybe there is a misunderstanding." Ling Zhiling nervously blocked Su Yun and Wu Yuandong behind her. She was about to collapse. At first, it was only Su Yun who lost control. Now, if Wu Yuandong was out of control, it would be a big trouble. She would feel very embarrassed if she really angered Mr. Chow. Su Yun ignored Ling Zhiling's dissuasion and said lightly, "Manager D, if you say so, you mean that only we can defecate on Mr. Chow's head, and no one else can? Mr. Su, please be more respectful with your words." Di Jindiao couldn't control his temper. There was a surveillance camera here. Master Chow could hear what Su Yun and the others said. "Brother Dong, I once heard that the Golden Eagle has the title of the first kick in Suong. However, I don't think your footwork is any weaker than his." Su Yun had confidence in Wu Yuandong, because when the two first met Su Yun, they tried their best to restrain their strength. Wu Yuandong did it very well, but Di Jindiao did not. Therefore, Su Yun could easily confirm that Wu Yuandong's strength was definitely above Di Jindiao's. Wu Yuandong understood what Su Yun meant. When Su Yun barged in, he was prepared to go all out. Alright, then I really want to see how strong Su Hang's first kick is. As soon as he finished speaking, Wu Yuandong suddenly lifted his leg and hooked the vine-glass coffee table beside him. His ankle shook slightly, and the coffee table that was hooked suddenly accelerated and smashed towards Di Jindiao's face. Finally, Di Jindiao, who had been enduring for a long time, couldn't bear it anymore. Just as the vine-glass coffee table was about to hit his face, he suddenly lifted his leg and chopped down. With a bang, the entire coffee table was smashed and fell to the ground. Di Jindiao finally made a move, and Wu Yuandong did not hold back either. His whole body leaned forward, and his legs flew out. The continuous attacks made Di Jindiao no longer dare to be careless. In the face of Wu Yuandong's offensive, he fell into a fluster. To put it bluntly, Di Jindiao was at most a person who had just entered the realm of a first-class master, while Wu Yuandong's strength was at least above the 7th rank of a first-class master. The two of them were not on the same level at all. Di Jindiao's every kick seemed to be faster than Wu Yuandong's, but in fact, it was because Wu Yuandong was slower than him every time. Therefore, every time Di Jindiao was hit by Wu Yuandong's kicks with the same strength and power. After more than 10 kicks, Di Jindiao began to feel his right calf trembling violently. Finally, Wu Yuandong was tired of playing. He suddenly changed his passive strategy and took the initiative to attack. A swift and violent whip kick directly towards Di Jindiao's head. Di Jindiao didn't have the chance to block it with his leg. He could only quickly raise his left arm to try and block Wu Yuandong's whip kick. But how could he block such a heavy kick with only one arm? With that kick, Di Jindiao staggered and almost fell. Wu Yuandong didn't give him time to react. He didn't wait for Di Jindiao to stand up and followed up with a beautiful 360-degree turn. Then, he ruthlessly kicked again. Di Jindiao, who had no ability to dodge, could only raise his arms again to try to block it. But when Wu Yuandong's heavy kick hit his arms, he clearly heard the crisp sound of the bones in his left arm breaking. Because the difference in strength between the two was still quite obvious, Wu Yuandong didn't continue to attack. He was just playing with his opponent, which he wasn't good at. If he really attacked with all his strength, he was confident that Di Jindiao would be killed by him within 30 moves. Di Jindiao held his painful arm and looked at Su Yun and the others in panic. He knew that he was definitely no match for Su Yun and Cho Yun, but he didn't expect that he couldn't even be a match for another person. Moreover, this person's strength was very likely to be above Cho Yun's. After all, he was Master Chao's right-hand man. It was a pity that he couldn't fight against this person with his strength. Then, wouldn't it be more difficult for the others? Through the surveillance footage, Chao Nanshan saw that the other party was determined to fight. He couldn't sit still anymore. He immediately waved his hand and asked his men to invite the other party. He didn't know if the other party was too slow or if Di Jindiao couldn't hold on for too long, but when the person who went to invite the other party arrived, Di Jindiao had already lost. Master Chao invites you in. The subordinate who hurried over didn't even wait for his rapid breathing to calm down. He directly said, Master Chao said that he doesn't want any misunderstandings between you and him. He hopes that we can talk things over. Su Yun snorted. Misunderstandings? Then he would listen to what Chao Nanshan had to say. Okay, lead the way. Since Master Chao wants to talk things over, I'll accompany him. Di Jindiao gritted his teeth with the help of his subordinate. The pain of his broken arm was excruciating, but in front of outsiders, he had to pretend that it didn't matter. He squeezed out a smile and said, Then please. To be honest, Di Jindiao was really unhappy. Since Chao Nanshan had decided to invite the other party in, why didn't he invite them in from the start? Why did he have to wait until his arm was broken before doing this? Su Yun didn't stand on ceremony. He strode behind Chao Nanshan. Chou Yun and Ling Zhiling also followed closely behind Su Yun. Wu Yuandong locked the car door and followed behind them. Because the car had broken into the main hall, Chao Nanshan arranged for the other people to close the main door of the clubhouse and not let anyone in. As for the guests who were already inside, Chao Nanshan was confident that they wouldn't be disturbed. After all, it was already very late. The guests who were still in the clubhouse had basically washed up and gone to bed with the high-class ladies. Most of the guests here probably didn't have the energy to sleep with the ladies until 2 o'clock in the morning. Since Chao Nanshan dared to invite Su Yun in, he had already made all the necessary preparations. He had already ordered his subordinates to deploy all the experts around his room. If anything were to happen, he believed that the human wave tactic would be able to protect him. It wasn't that Su Yun didn't notice it, but Su Yun really disdained it. If the human wave tactic could trap him, he wouldn't have come to the Qin clubhouse today. He would have died with Chou Yun by the lake. It must be known that Green Ghost had more experts than Chao Nanshan, and their strength was definitely higher than Chao Nanshan's. Chao Nanshan didn't have any first-rate experts except for Di Jindiao, who had already been defeated. His other right-hand man, Ma Baori, was only a second-rate expert. The strength of the other experts under him was even lower. There were no more than 10 third-rate experts in the entire Qin clubhouse. The other dozens of people were all ordinary fighters. In front of Su Yun and the other 2 experts, they were almost negligible. Chao Nanshan actually wanted to use this kind of human wave tactic to protect himself. It was simply ridiculous. But now he had to do this because as long as Su Yun forced his way in, he could only do this. There was another way, which was to ask Green Ghost for help. But Chao Nanshan, who wanted to be a fisherman, would rather take the risk than involve Green Ghost. Soon, Su Yun was led by that person, accompanied by the pipa music of Spring River, Flowers, and Moonlight Night, to the room she had been to before. Chao Nanshan was still sitting in his original position, but he no longer had the same aura as before. Once a person had a guilty conscience, there was no need to talk about aura. Brother Su Yun, I didn't expect us to meet again so soon. But this time, there seems to be some misunderstanding between us. Chao Nanshan stood up and looked at Chou Yun, Ling Zhiling, and another man who followed Su Yun. He tried his best to make his expression less nervous. Miss Ling, long time no see. You're really getting more and more beautiful. Hee, it seems that your relationship with brother Su Yun is also good. I really don't know what misunderstanding there is between us. Ling Zhiling was the only one who didn't know what to do. I'm really sorry, Boss Chao. If there really is a misunderstanding, I hope you can forgive. I'm afraid there isn't a misunderstanding. Chou Yun said coldly to Chao Nanshan. I've been in Suong for so many years, and it seems that I've only heard Spring River Moonlight Night in your clubhouse. Chapter 302. Chou Yun sneered at Chao Nanshan, who was speaking rudely to her. Master Chao, I know you and Feng Qiansui are friends, but after the Feng family's incident, you no longer have any relationship with the Feng family. After that bastard started to make a move against the Feng family, you were the one who didn't interfere from the beginning to the end. Because you knew very well that if you helped the Feng family, you probably wouldn't be able to protect anything. Since it's already like this, do you still want to use your relationship with Feng Qiansui to pressure me? Let me tell you, it's impossible. You have no relationship with the Feng family. Chao Nanshan didn't seem to be afraid of Chou Yun. After all, he and Feng Qiansui were friends. In his eyes, Chou Yun had always been Feng Qiansui's subordinate. He didn't need to be polite to a subordinate. So what if we have a relationship? So what if we don't have a relationship? The Feng family is powerless. Why are you still talking to me? I didn't do anything wrong to Feng Qiansui. What did I do wrong to him? Of course you did wrong to him. You know whether Guagua is with you or not. Chou Yun had lost her patience. Chao Nanshan, if I didn't have solid evidence, I wouldn't have rashly come to you. After all, I also want to give you face. Because you are his old friend, I won't trouble you for no reason, unless I'm crazy. Chao Nanshan said loudly, I think you're crazy. Cho Yun, where's the evidence you said? You said that Guagua is with me? Hee hee, alright, Guagua is also a niece in front of me. I really hope that my eldest niece Feng will come here and reminisce with me. The one who wants to harm you is Green Ghost. You can't find her, but you don't look for Green Ghost. Instead, you come to me. What are you thinking? Master Chow, how can you be so hostile to a girl? Just now, your people said that you have an extraordinary temperament. Even if I shit on your head, you would still give me face and not bicker with me. Why are you blushing and glaring at Cho Yun's questioning now? Su Yun smiled and said, Master Chow, it wasn't Cho Yun who said that Guagua was here. It was me. It wasn't Cho Yun who had the evidence either. It was also me. Chao Nanshan was rendered speechless by Su Yun's words. He wanted to raise his trembling hand, but he held it back and said, Good, good. Brother Su Yun, when we first met, I felt that we were fated to meet. When you asked me, I told you everything I knew. I thought that we could be considered friends. I didn't expect you to come here today and make trouble for no reason. Then tell me your evidence and let me know how I became Green Ghost's scapegoat. Su Yun closed his eyes and hummed softly to the rhythm of the Peepa song. I'm afraid not many people can appreciate such elegant music, right? Master Chow, what's the name of this song? This song is called Spring River Moonlight Night. Chao Nanshan still didn't forget to show his elegant taste. Spring River Moonlight Night is a famous song in Hua Xia's classical music. It's a classic in Hua Xia's classical music. Its predecessor was a famous Peepa solo song. Its original name was Sunset Flute Drum. Su Yun nodded. I'm afraid there aren't many people in Suong who can appreciate such classical music, right? Although Chao Nanshan didn't understand why Su Yun suddenly changed the topic, he didn't dislike it at all. Yes, not many people appreciate classical music now, but the members here are very satisfied with the song I chose. Although I don't dare to say that my personal taste is very high, I haven't heard of anyone else in Suong who has the same taste as me. As he said this, Chao Nanshan suddenly froze. Chao Nanshan, who had always been good at scheming, had a feeling that he had been lured into a trap by Su Yun. In that case, I'm afraid it can't be wrong. I've heard this Peepa song, Spring River Moonlight Night, many times. Su Yun's expression started to turn cold. The last time I heard it was when I was on the phone with you. Chao Nanshan, even if you lower your voice, I can still hear it. If it wasn't for the Peepa sound here, I wouldn't dare to be so sure. It's because of this song that I'm sure the person on the phone with me is you. This is the evidence. Chao Nanshan, if you still want to deny it, you better find a better reason. Chao Nanshan's expression changed. Brother Su Yun, if you put it that way, then it doesn't make sense. If you say that the person who played this music is the one who took the woman's phone and talked to you, then it's a completely baseless conjecture. This kind of reasoning is often not valid. Besides, although I don't know if anyone else in Suong listens to this song, it doesn't mean that they don't listen to it. Moreover, it's also possible that he deliberately played this Peepa song while talking to you on the phone in order to divert your attention to me. All of these can be explained clearly. But there's one thing that can't be explained clearly. Su Yun's expression was completely cold. How did you know that it was that woman's phone that talked to me? Chao Nanshan, I'm afraid I didn't say this, and neither did they. How did you know? Chao Nanshan's face instantly turned pale. He accidentally let it slip. It was true that people make mistakes and horses stumble. Chao Nanshan, who had always been known for his caution and shrewdness, actually had a day where he sold himself out. Su Yun had been waiting for this confirmation. Once it was confirmed that it was Chao Nanshan who did this, Su Yun could no longer suppress the anger in his heart. This old fox dared to touch his woman and play tricks with him. This old fox deserved to die. In the blink of an eye, Su Yun suddenly moved and pushed the expensive rosewood coffee table. Chao Nanshan, who was sitting in front, didn't have time to react. With a bang, Chao Nanshan was caught between the coffee table and the wall. Perhaps Su Yun's strength was too sudden, so he didn't have time to react. This time, Chao Nanshan's internal organs were almost squeezed out. Seeing that there was a sudden fight, the people arranged by Chao Nanshan all rushed out from the dock. In an instant, the entire room was surrounded. Except for more than 10 people who were at the expert level, the others all showed their weapons. Seeing this, Di Jindiao hurriedly shouted, "Everyone stop! Master Chao is still in their hands." Looking at Chao Nanshan, who was almost squeezed to the point of vomiting blood, Di Jindiao was worried. However, Ma Baori, who was leading this group of people, didn't care. He sneered and said, "Jindiao, if everyone stops, how can we save Master Chao?" Di Jindiao was startled. If his arm wasn't completely broken and he couldn't lift it, he would have pulled Ma Baori over and asked him what he meant. But now, Ma Baori didn't have the intention to pay attention to him. He ordered, "Brothers, charge. Let them know that they have to listen to us in our territory. Take it easy, don't hurt Master Chao." Chao Nanshan was now squeezed to the wall. He couldn't speak at all. Looking at his painful expression, no one knew whether he wanted his men to use force or beg for mercy to save him. After all, Ma Baori wasn't like Di Jindiao. He hadn't fought with the opponent before. Even if the opponent was an expert, it wouldn't matter. After all, there were 10 third-rate experts among his men, and Ma Baori was a second-rate expert. Ma Baori, who hadn't seen a real fierce person before, was like a newborn calf that wasn't afraid of a tiger. That was why he gave such a rash order. Dozens of his underlings raised their steel blades and rushed forward. Su Yun, on the other hand, had one foot on the coffee table that was clamping Chao Nanshan's chest. He didn't even turn his head. He didn't even bother to respond to the voices behind him. "Where is he? Chao Nanshan, I don't have the patience to waste time with you. So, I don't want to ask you a second time." Chao Nanshan's chest was tight. He tried his best to breathe, but the air in his lungs wasn't enough. He didn't answer Su Yun's question. He didn't know if it was because he really couldn't speak, or because he still had a certain level of confidence in his men. Su Yun didn't even turn his head. Of course, he believed in the strength of Chou Yun and Wu Yuandong. If the two of them, who had reached the 6th or 7th level, couldn't even handle a group of small fries, they might as well not stay in the underground world. Ling Jiling's mind went blank when she saw the reflection of so many swords. This was different from a movie about gangsters. These people were using real weapons. If she was careless and got cut, it would leave a scar that would never be healed for the rest of her life. Ling Jiling was dumbfounded the moment the first 2 lackeys rushed in and swung their machetes at their heads. She was really scared out of her wits. Right now, she was like a little lamb that had strayed into a wolf's den. She felt extremely terrified of any stranger around her. Even though she knew that the people around her were very powerful, she still felt that the opponent's human wave tactic was more advantageous. However, Chou Yun and Wu Yuandong easily dodged the sharp blades. Then, they casually kicked the 2 men who bore the brunt of the attack and sent them flying. The people behind them were also forced to take a few steps back. Ling Jiling didn't know if it was because of Chou Yan's domineering actions that had affected her, but she seemed to have forgotten all the terror she was feeling. She glared at the men who were eyeing her covetously. "If you don't want to live, then come at me." Su Yun really didn't know where her courage came from. Seeing Chou Yun and Wu Yuandong being surrounded by the enemy's numbers, Ling Jiling was stunned again. After the 2 fierce generals were surrounded, there was finally someone who could deal with her. Just as Ling Jiling was in a daze, a third-rate fighter suddenly came in front of her. He sneered and licked his lips. "Miss Ling, I've always wanted to play with you when I saw you on the screen. Now I finally have the chance. Hee, you won't refuse, right?" Chapter 303. But before the man's hand could reach Ling Jiling's body, it was caught by an iron-like hand. Su Yun's body suddenly emitted a biting cold aura. It was a kind of fear that chilled the opponent to the bone. Su Yun slowly exerted force. The face of the guy who wanted to harass Ling Jiling began to twist, and his mouth began to emit an unbearable cry of pain. But he could only watch helplessly as his fist was deformed in Su Yun's hand. He was powerless to withdraw even half an inch. Ah! Finally, when the opponent could not help but scream, Su Yun suddenly released his hand and swiftly kicked the center of the opponent's chest. A black shadow flew out and fell heavily to the ground. It struggled a few times, and then there was no more movement. Su Yun was still pushing the expensive yellow rosewood tea table with one hand, and Chao Nanshan was still sandwiched between the table and the wall, unable to move even half an inch. Ling Jiling did not dare to be careless. She hid beside Su Yun and did not dare to leave even half a step. With the example of the first person, no one dared to rashly step forward to take advantage of the situation. Seeing that the dozens of tattooed men who were brandishing knives and sticks were all about to be overturned, the 10 masters could not help but join the battle. Originally, Su Yun did not intend to take action. But he was worried about Cho Yun's condition. It was unnecessary to be injured by the opponent. After all, the opponent had 10 third-rate masters and a second-rate master eyeing them covetously. In addition, although Di Jindiao was injured, he had enough ability to launch a fatal blow when Cho Yun and Wu Yuandong were attacked from both sides. Therefore, the opponent's combat strength was also very terrifying. After all, Cho Yun and Wu Yuandong had not reached the level of a supreme master like Su Yun. After Su Yun joined the battle, the situation became one-sided. Basically, no one could withstand his attack. Su Yun did not want to waste time here. He only wanted to see Ruan Qingshuang and Guagua 1 minute earlier. So, he was really ruthless. Even Cho Yun was a little surprised. Su Yun's people joined the battle, and in less than 5 minutes, the whole scene could be described as a wailing field. Except for Di Jindiao and Ma Baori who were still standing, all of Chao Nanshan's men were lying on the ground, wailing and rolling on the ground. Chao Nanshan finally managed to breathe smoothly, but he was completely suffocated by the scene in front of him. Wasn't this too disappointing? Even if he didn't expect his subordinates to be able to beat Su Yun, at the very least, they should be able to hold on and create time for him to escape. As long as Chao Nanshan could escape and meet Green Ghost, then he wouldn't need to do the rest of the things. But who would have thought that Su Yun would defeat all of his men in less than 5 minutes? Not to mention fighting for a chance to meet up with Green Ghost, he was afraid that he did not even have time to call Green Ghost for help. Chao Nanshan, who was quick-witted, locked his eyes on Ling Jiling. Just as everyone's eyes were focused on Su Yun, Chao Nanshan took out the M500 revolver hidden under the sofa cushion in his room. At the same time, he did not forget to hide behind Ling Jiling and directly pointed the revolver at Ling Jiling's temple. "Don't move. If any of you dare to move, I will kill her. I am warning you, I will do what I say." Chao Nanshan's eyes flashed with a green light. He was definitely not threatening. If Su Yun and the others did not cooperate, he would immediately shoot Ling Jiling's leg. "Don't do anything stupid." Su Yun immediately raised his hands and signaled Cho Yun and Wu Yuandong to do the same. He was very clear about Chao Nanshan's current state of mind, so in order to prevent Ling Jiling from unnecessary harm, he had to listen to Chao Nanshan unconditionally. After all, the M500 revolver was an American Smith Wesson. The Wesson Company was known as the world's most powerful handgun. This handgun was also very famous in the handgun world, and its fame came from its large caliber. This gun had a 12.7mm caliber and was capable of firing magnums. Due to the large caliber of the bullets, a normal revolver could only hold 6 bullets, but this gun could only hold 5. Su Yun had played with the M500 revolver before, so he was very clear about the kinetic energy of the bullets fired by this gun. It was twice as powerful as the famous Desert Eagle, produced by the Israeli Military Industrial Company. Its terrifying value of 3,517 joules had already reached the kinetic energy of a high-powered rifle bullet. Its destructive power could be described as terrifying, so it was not an exaggeration to call the M500 revolver a hand cannon. Of course, although this gun's destructive power was very high, it could not be compared to the Desert Eagle in a real battle. But if it was a hostage situation, it was indeed more of a threat to the hostage's safety than the Desert Eagle, which gave Su Yun a headache. Obviously, Wu Yuandong's expression froze. It seemed that he and Su Yun had a certain understanding of the revolver, or else he would not be so surprised. Perhaps Cho Yun had never used a weapon like a revolver before, so she was not too surprised. She looked a little disappointed, as if she was regretting the loss of her soft sword, Long Yuan. Long Yuan would never come back. Green Ghost had personally destroyed it in front of Cho Yun. The reason was very simple. Ever since Green Ghost had entered Suong, this sword had killed 11 of his subordinates, so Green Ghost hated this sword very much. Seeing that Su Yun and the other two had raised their hands, Chao Nanshan's heart was a little relieved, but he still hid behind Ling Jiling, using her as his shield. Ling Jiling, who had a gun on her head, had long lost the ability to resist. After all, she was in the entertainment industry, not the military or the underground world. When her life was threatened, she could not be as calm as Su Yun and the others. She could only be manipulated. As long as her life was not harmed, she would not have the energy to think about how to resist or escape. Jin Song. Bari. Chao Nanshan ordered. Jin Song and Ma Baori immediately understood Chao Nanshan's meaning and quickly found iron chains. Obviously, Su Yun and the other two would definitely resist. When Ma Baori was about to tie the chain on Wu Yuandong glared at him and was about to kick him. Chao Nanshan saw this and pointed the gun at Ling Jiling's temple, roaring, "If you move again, do you believe that I will kill her?" Brother Dong. Su Yun's endurance was stronger than the others. Seeing Chao Nanshan like this, Su Yun hurriedly signaled everyone not to move. When Wu Yuandong saw this, he could only suppress his anger and let Ma Baori tie the chain around his body. Soon, Su Yun, Cho Yun, and Wu Yuandong were tied up by Jin Song and Ma Baori. Only then did Chao Nanshan feel relieved and stood behind Ling Jiling. Ma Baori, who had just lost so many people, finally regained his composure. He suddenly raised his leg and kicked Wu Yuandong to the ground. He bared his teeth and threatened, F***CK. Didn't you want to kick me just now? Kick me. Come on, let me see what else you can do. Humph, grandson, let me tell you, since you fell into my hands today, I will let you know what it means to beg for death. I'll let you know what it means to cry for help from the heavens and the earth. Although Jin Song's arm was broken by Wu Yuandong, he was quite disdainful of Ma Baori's arrogance. After Wu Yuandong fell to the ground, he stood up again expressionlessly. This was nothing to him. Kill me if you have the guts. Ma Baori was stunned. Seeing that this guy was quite tough, he followed up with another kick, causing Wu Yuandong to stagger. F***CK. Do you think I don't dare? I can send you to hell at any time. Come on, if you don't kill me now, when I let go of you, I will kill you first. Although Wu Yuandong's voice was not loud, it was full of deterrence. With such a casual sentence, the arrogant and despotic Ma Baori could not say a word. Ling Jiling saw that Su Yun and the others were tied up like dumplings because of her and finally understood her situation. Because of her, everyone was now trapped. At this moment, Ling Jiling regretted it. She even had a terrible thought that she should have been beaten to death just now. Then, she would not have implicated Su Yun. Can you let her go now? Although Su Yun was already tied up, she still did not have the slightest intention of condescending. Chao Nanshan snorted and pushed Ling Jiling away. He said to Ma Baori, "Tie her up too. Take them to see the person they are looking for." Su Yun's eyes narrowed slightly. Chao Nanshan, you are finally willing to admit that Guagua is indeed with you. So what if I admit it? If you killed everyone just now, of course, I would not admit it. But now that you are tied up like this, what qualifications do you have to challenge me? Chao Nanshan said coldly, "Young man, don't be so impulsive before you do something. Originally, I wanted to be friends with you, but now it seems that there is no fate between us. I won't hesitate to tell you that the people you're looking for were indeed brought back by me, but I provided them with good food and didn't let them suffer any grievances. Seeing that you've messed with Green Ghost, I can bring you to see them." Su Yun did not speak. He only nodded. Chapter 304. Led by Chao Nanshan and his two remaining subordinates, Su Yun could finally see the little evildoer who had caused him so much trouble. There was a wooden house in the southeast corner of the club. From a distance, it looked like a delicate landscape. However, at this moment, Ruan Qingxuang and Guagua, who had caused trouble, were locked up in the house. Ruan Qingxuang had been struggling with the entanglement in her heart for several hours. She blamed herself over and over again for not being firm in her position at the beginning. Why did she trust a stranger so easily? Even if this person knew Guagua, she should not have trusted him so easily. After all, Guagua was a child, but she was not a child. How could she not have such a basic awareness of precaution? "Mom, are you very angry with Guagua?" Guagua sensibly raised her head and looked at Ruan Qingxuang. She knew very well how much trouble her behavior had brought to everyone. "It's all my fault." Ruan Qingxuang did not have the heart to blame Guagua. "I'm just worried that your father will be anxious if he can't find us. Now that the mobile phone has been taken away by that person, I'm thinking of a way to contact your father." Guagua pouted. "Mom, now you have completely acquiesced that Su Yun is your father. It's so natural to call him that. He, you used to say that I shouldn't call him that. Now you admit it yourself. Mom, when we see our father again, you should just get married. Now there is a popular TV series called Let's Get Married on TV. You should just adapt to the times. Guagua, you have to understand that although I'm a little older than Su Yun, I'm not a leftover woman in my 30s. Ruan Qingxuang did not know whether to laugh or cry. She was just 26 years old. To put it nicely, she was an upright and elegant lady. She was not a leftover woman at all. Sigh, Mom, women age very quickly when they reach this age. Haven't you heard? Women between the ages of 25 and 27 are already junior leftovers. Take you, Mom, for example. You're fighting to find a partner, so you're called a leftover fighter. If you're between the ages of 28 and 30 in 2 years, you'll really be the so-called leftover guest. If you are still not married to your father when you are 35 years old, you will be the fighting leftover Buddha. If you are 35 years old and Guagua is a big girl, then I will really have to call you the great leftover equal to heaven." Guagua said to herself as she counted with her fingers. "If you become the leftover king when you are 45 years old. Wow, I will be 25 years old by then, okay? I will become the leftover fighter." Ruan Qingxuang was dizzy by Guagua's words. It was scary just thinking about it. 45 years old. Let alone 45 years old, if she really became the great leftover equal to heaven, who was still unmarried at 35 years old, it was enough for Ruan Qingxuang to despair about life. "Little girl, are you cursing your mother again?" Ruan Qingxuang was speechless. "How is that possible? You are already 25 years old, and your mother is still unmarried. Impossible." Guagua nodded seriously. "Mother, then you have to hurry up and do it. Think about it. Dad is so outstanding. Look. Let me analyze it for you. Do you think that Sister Wan has the life of a nun? Of course not. Look, when Dad was not around, didn't she talk about him every day? Obviously, although Sister Wan is stubborn, she definitely likes Dad in her heart. And Sister Xiao Jiu. He has only met Sister Xiao Jiu a few times, and Sister Xiao Jiu has already fallen in love with him. Sister Xiao Jiu admitted it herself. Otherwise, she wouldn't be so generous as to give me a big hotel. And also, we haven't seen him for a few days, and he can already hang out with Sister Jiling Mother. Don't tell me you don't know that Sister Jiling is the goddess of otakus? Even I can't resist her coquettish magic, let alone Dad. I'm really worried that Dad has already lost his chastity." Ruan Qingxuang was petrified. Guagua, this little girl, really knew what losing her chastity meant? But if she thought about it carefully, Guagua's words were very reasonable. Ruan Qingxuang thought about it carefully. It was indeed so. In the days when Su Yun was not in Hadong City, Qin Waner would always unintentionally mention Su Yun, and then spit twice. She would say that she was happy when he was not here, and that they were all women. Ruan Qingxuang certainly knew that Qin Wan actually missed Su Yun. That was why she even worked overtime on weekends to eliminate some of her longing for Su Yun. When it came to Tang Jiu, it was even more obvious because Tang Jiu did not hide her admiration for Su Yun in front of them. Now that Su Yun had helped their Tang family so much, it was obvious that she would be even more loyal to Su Yun. Whether Su Yun would fall in love with her or not, Ruan Qingxuang was sure that Tang Jiu definitely liked Su Yun in her heart. This was just the person Guagua mentioned, and Ruan Qingxuang also knew that Guagua did not mention Chou Yun. Although Chou Yun usually looked as cold as ice, and she did not listen to anyone's orders, especially the kind of indifference she had towards men, it would even make people wonder if she had a problem with her sexual orientation. But in front of Su Yun, it could be said that she was almost obedient, right? Who dared to say that this was not because Chou Yun had feelings for Su Yun? In addition, Guagua mentioned Sister Ling Jiling. Of course, Ruan Qingxuang had seen Sister Ling Jiling's movies. Every movie was so fresh and lovely, she could charm thousands of men and emperors. Without a doubt, she could definitely be ranked in the top 10 of the otaku goddess list. There was also Guagua's homeroom teacher, Su Xiaoran. Every time she looked at Su Yun's eyes, she would feel embarrassed, and her face would blush. Ruan Qingxuang finally thought of herself. She had already fallen in love with Su Yun when she first met him. Only she knew how difficult it was for her to come to Hadong City alone. No one had ever helped her with such pure thoughts. There were indeed a few men who had helped her out in the past, but when they heard that she was a single girl, they revealed their true colors as perverts and brought up the so-called idea of keeping her as a mistress. Ruan Qingxuang had experienced all these, so she was completely disappointed in men. Before she met Su Yun, in her eyes, there was no good man in the world. But Su Yun was different. After he helped her out the first time, she knew that he was different from others. That was a woman's sixth sense. She believed that her sixth sense did not lie to her. However, her sixth sense did not lie to her. Everything that Su Yun had done for her moved her. She really had the idea of marrying Su Yun, but this was not something she could marry just because she wanted to. Who knew if Su Yun was also afraid of marriage? Moreover, even if Su Yun was not afraid of marriage, did she have to consider the feelings of her other sisters? Who asked Ruan Qingxuang to be so soft-hearted? Although she gave all her heart to Su Yun, she still had to consider Qin Wan, Chou Yun, and Tang Jiu. She was in a dilemma. Mom, you say, if you all don't dare to face your own hearts, and then you all really drag it out until you are in your 40s, then I will be old enough to marry you. At that time, I'll be old enough to get married. What if I fall in love with Dad? Guagua counted her fingers over and over again, and at the same time, she pouted and sighed thoughtfully. Dad and I are not related by blood. It is not a mess of ethics. Mom, do I also have the right to like Dad? I really feel conflicted for you. You? How old are you? What are you thinking? Ruan Qingxuang was blushing because of Guagua's nonsensical conversation. How old was this little girl? She was actually thinking about marrying Su Yun. God, Ruan Qingxuang really did not know how to face her own love. Godfather will always be your godfather. Do you understand? Guagua shook her head. Then why do many people call each other godfather and goddaughter when they are obviously in a relationship with a man and a woman? Those are some corrupt people. They are all men who like the new and hate the old. They are all bad guys. Moreover, those girls are also materialistic girls. They are all with the so-called godfathers for money and material things. That is not love. Ruan Qingxuang really did not understand how she educated Guagua. Could Guagua understand? Guagua grinned and laughed. Mom, look at how scared you are. Of course I understand. Those girls are mistresses. I am my godfather's baby. I am different from them. Of course, my godfather is different from those stinky men. Otherwise, Mom would not love him so much. Am I right? How could Ruan Qingxuang answer this? Answer yes or no. She could not look straight at Guagua, this naughty child. They are between the ages of 5 to 12. They have great curiosity, destructive power, and plenty of time. Their nonsensical requests often make you impatient or even crazy. They are usually called naughty children. What a question. God, what did she do wrong to God to let her pick up such a cute naughty child that made her want to cry? Who said that parents love their naughty children the most? Ruan Qingxuang now felt that she loved this naughty child the most. Am I right, Mom? Guagua was still asking. Wait, Ruan Qingxuang seemed to hear some messy footsteps coming from outside. She suddenly reacted. Where were they talking? They weren't talking about life in their own beds at home. Now, she and Guagua were still trapped in such a helpless place. No matter how much they cried, there was no response. The footsteps outside made Ruan Qingxuang's heart suddenly rise to her throat. She hugged Guagua. Guagua, don't be afraid. Mom will protect you. I will never let them touch a single hair on your head. Perhaps a child's intuition was stronger than a woman's sixth sense. Guagua, who was in Ruan Qingxuang's arms, actually had a flash of bright eyes. She said with a face full of expectation, "Is Dad coming to save us?" Chapter 305. As the saying goes, happiness can come crashing down on your head without you even realizing it. The moment the door opened, Ruan Qingxuang saw Su Yun among the 7 people. Dad! Guagua excitedly rushed out of Ruan Qingxuang's arms. But soon, she noticed that Su Yun was tied up with multiple layers of chains just like Ruan Qingxuang. She quickly realized that this was definitely not a surprise created by Uncle Chao. Chao Nanshan strode in front of Guagua and pushed Guagua back. Guagua staggered back a few steps. If it wasn't for Ruan Qingxuang hurriedly holding her in her arms, Guagua would have fallen to the ground. Guagua, who had never been bullied, was furious. She put her hands on her waist and wanted to argue with Chao Nanshan. But as soon as she turned around, Chao Nanshan pointed the gun at her. Ruan Qingxuang pulled Guagua into her arms. She was really afraid of scaring Guagua. Ever since she met Su Yun, Ruan Qingxuang went from being scared of hooligans to being able to face a gun calmly. Her psychological endurance had improved by leaps and bounds. Chao Nanshan, you better be careful. Su Yun's heart thumped. It was too dangerous. What if the gun accidentally went off? If something happened to Guagua and Ruan Qingxuang in front of him, then it would be impossible for him to suppress the evil in his heart. If there's anything, come at me. Don't scare the children. Chao Nanshan snorted and looked back at Su Yun and the others. Su Yun, why don't you take a look at yourself? You're already like this. What right do you have to threaten me? As long as I hand you over to Green Ghost, he'll pull out your tendons and skin you alive. You still have the heart to care about others? Ha ha ha. Are you afraid that the gun will go off accidentally? That's hard to say. But if the gun goes off accidentally, there's no chance of it jamming. So it's very dangerous. You better behave yourself. Otherwise, I'll definitely make you regret it. Chao Nanshan said as he aimed the gun at Guagua, who was in Ruan Qingxuang's arms. A nameless anger began to burn in Su Yun's heart. One had to know that the gun was powerful enough to pierce through 2 people. If Chao Nanshan was careless, the consequences would be unimaginable. Thus, Su Yun tried his best to suppress his emotions. He knew that the more he made Chao Nanshan feel that he was in control of everything, the safer Guagua and Ruan Qingxuang would be. Chao Nanshan, I know what you want to do. As long as you hand me over to Green Ghost, you'll be able to make a great contribution to Green Ghost. Release all of them. I'll definitely cooperate with you. Chao Nanshan shook his head and said coldly, Don't order me around. Don't command me. What right do you have to say this to me now? Su Yun, I know you're an expert, but so what? I only need to move my fingers. Whose head is harder than a bullet? I didn't expect Master Chao to use such despicable methods, Wu Yuandong said coldly. Wu Yuandong said coldly, I still remember the first time I heard people talk about Chao Nanshan. They said that you were the second Feng Qiansui of Suong. Even after Feng Qiansui passed away, Suong would still be supported by you, Master Chow. But looking at it now, those people really thought too highly of you. How could a despicable person support the world? How laughable. Ma Baori heard Wu Yuandong humiliate Chow Nanshan and raised his arm to hit the back of Wu Yuandong's head. Shut up. You don't have the right to speak in front of Master Chow. Chow Nanshan didn't care. He looked up and laughed. Ha 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 ha. Good, well said. I'm despicable, but so what? I'm despicable, but I'm not like Old Man Feng, whose life and death are unknown. At least I'm still alive. At least I have a chance to stand in front of you. At least I can fight with Green Ghost for Su Hang. Chow Nanshan. Was it because of you that Green Ghost was able to sneak into the lakeside area in the middle of the night? Cho Yen seemed to have suddenly understood something. She glared at Chow Nanshan with her almond-shaped eyes. Chow Nanshan's words gave her a strange feeling. If Green Ghost hadn't secretly done something that day, it wouldn't have been so easy to take down the Feng family. As soon as he said this, the atmosphere suddenly became heavy and quiet. Chow Nanshan was startled. In the end, he said, since things have come to this, I have nothing to hide. Green Ghost was able to get Su Hang today because of me. That day, he was able to take down the Feng family because of him and me. In fact, I always thought that you guys should have figured it out long ago, but I didn't think that Feng Qiansui didn't suspect me and thought that I had nothing to do with this. Humph. How laughable. Think about it. If I had nothing to do with Green Ghost, why would I be able to sit back and relax when the Feng family is like this? Hearing Chow Nanshan's words, Cho Yun's brows became cold. At the beginning, she had warned Feng Qiansui not to trust anyone too much. However, Feng Qiansui didn't suspect Chow Nanshan. He had always said that Chow Nanshan had received so many favors from him. If Chow Nanshan still wanted to harm him, he would be punished by the heavens. Therefore, Chow Nanshan definitely wouldn't be disloyal to him. Cho Yun had never suspected anything. Even in the end, she only felt that Chow Nanshan was at most not doing anything. She had never suspected that he was colluding with Green Ghost. I betrayed Feng Qiansui, but no one knew. No one believed that I would collude with Green Ghost. Ha 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 ha, I'm afraid even Feng Qiansui himself wouldn't believe it. So, I did it. I helped Green Ghost successfully eliminate all the Feng family's forces in Su Hang. As the saying goes, know yourself and know your enemy. It's because I told Green Ghost everything about the Feng family that Green Ghost was able to take down Su Hang so smoothly. At this point, Chow Nanshan seemed to be a little agitated. Green Ghost promised me that if he took down Su Hang, we could split Su Hang equally. He took the south of West Lake and I took the north of West Lake. But he doesn't admit it now. He wants to take Su Hang alone and wants me to continue to listen to him like I listened to Feng Qiansui. I was deceived. Do you know that? I want to take back Su Hang. Cho Yun clenched her fists until her knuckles cracked. Chow Nanshan, aren't you afraid of being punished by the heavens for doing this? Heavenly punishment? If the heavens really have eyes, they wouldn't let Green Ghost take over Feng Qiansui's position. Chow Nanshan sneered and said, ever since Green Ghost took over Su Hang, I understood a principle. Good people don't live long, but scourges live for 1,000 years. Feng Qiansui was highly respected in Su Hang, but what benefits did he leave behind? His son and daughter all died an unnatural death. He didn't have a good ending in his old age and only left behind such a pitiful granddaughter. Humph. So what if he's a good person? Why should I be a good person? Why can a person like Green Ghost lead Su Hang? If there's really divine punishment, it's Green Ghost, not me, Chow Nanshan. Guagua widened her innocent eyes. Her eyes were already filled with tears. She didn't understand why Uncle Chow was doing this. At Guagua's age, she could already understand these words. Chow Nanshan's words completely overturned Guagua's view of this world. Uncle Chow, didn't you always say that you were promoted by my grandfather? Then why are you still treating him like this? Chao Nanshan glanced at Guagua. His next words shocked Guagua to the point that she couldn't take it. Then do you know why your grandfather thinks so highly of me? Do you know why your grandfather promoted me so much all these years? Because he doesn't have a son, do you understand? His son is your father. Do you know how your father died? Ha ha ha. Since I've said so much today, I might as well say one more thing. Guagua, your father and your aunt were actually caused by me. Guagua was stunned. At her age, she couldn't take this kind of blow. She didn't have any impression of her parents and aunt since she was young. It wasn't that she hadn't asked her parents, but her grandfather only told her that after she was born, her parents went to a faraway place to do something very important, so they couldn't be by Guagua's side. Although Guagua became more and more convinced of this lie, Guagua had never thought that her parents had left this world. To be honest, for a 6 or 7-year-old child, Guagua had always hated her parents. She felt that her parents had never been by her side, so she hated them. But sometimes, Guagua would miss them and want to know what they looked like. Because after they died in the explosion, Feng Qiansui hid all their photos in a place where Guagua couldn't find, so Guagua didn't even have the chance to know what her parents looked like. As Guagua grew up, Guagua did suspect that her parents were gone, but she didn't think about the worst possibility. This was the first time Guagua heard that her parents had left forever and would never come back to see her. Although Guagua could accept this reality, after all, she hadn't seen her parents for so many years. But when it was really mentioned, Guagua still didn't want to hear it. Because if she knew, she wouldn't have any hope of seeing her parents again. Why did Guagua rely so much on Ruan Qingshuang and Su Yun? Because Guagua had already treated them as her parents. She didn't want to hear about her biological parents. Chou Yun suddenly shouted, "Chao Nanshan! What nonsense are you talking about? Guagua, your parents and aunt went to a faraway place to do research. They will come back to see you one day." Obviously, in front of Chao Nanshan's words, Chou Yun's explanation was really far-fetched. Let alone Guagua, even Su Yun, Ruan Qingshuang, Ling Jiling, and Wu Yuandong didn't believe it. No parents would be willing to leave their newborn child at home to do research. Even the people working in the space station could not come back to see their child for 6 or 7 years. Chapter 306. Chou Yun, do you think Guagua is still a 3-year-old child? Do you think she will still believe your lies? She has the right to know the truth. Chao Nanshan continued to speak to Guagua coldly. Your aunt was the famous celebrity Feng Ying a few years ago. When she was filming, your father Feng Yifei and your mother Qin Tingyi, who was known as Jiangnan's #1 model, carried you to the set to give your aunt shark fin soup. In the end, boom. When the prop team was setting up the effect bomb, it suddenly exploded and the whole studio was on fire. No one expected that the prop bomb would become a real bomb, and it was so powerful. The incident shocked the whole country. Everyone in the set, including those who went to visit the set, died. The only one who survived was the child in Jiangnan's #1 model Qin Tingyi's arms. Guagua, you are so lucky. That child was you. Guagua was indeed much stronger than the average child. Even though Chao Nanshan had said so many things that a child of her age would not be able to accept, Guagua still held back the tears in her eyes. She did not cry. Although Guagua was very sad, she insisted on not crying. If she cried and made a scene at this time, wouldn't she be a burden to everyone? As for whether Chao Nanshan was telling the truth, only Chou Yun knew. Chou Yun was now sure that Chao Nanshan was the mastermind of that incident. Because after that incident, Feng Qiansui didn't tell anyone the truth of the matter. Only Feng Qiansui and Chou Yen knew about it. Everyone else was kept in the dark. Since Chao Nanshan was able to explain it in such detail, there was only one possibility. He was the one who planned it. Chao Nanshan, why did you do that? Do you still have a conscience? Chou Yun did not expect that the low-key Chao Nanshan in her eyes would be so cruel. She really could not accept this reality. Why did I do that? Didn't you say that I was despicable? If you want to blame someone, then you can only blame Feng Qiansui for being too good to me. He has always promoted me. He said that he admires me. He said that if he didn't have a son, he would definitely choose me as the successor of Suong. Chao Nanshan let go of everything and said the things that had been suppressed in his heart for many years. That's why I know that Feng Yifei is my biggest enemy. If Feng Yifei dies, then Feng Qiansui will give Su Hang to me after he abdicates. Do you understand? So it wasn't me who wanted to kill Feng Yifei. It was Feng Qiansui who forced me to kill him. If I didn't kill Feng Yifei, I wouldn't be where I am today. Don't blame me. Chou Yun squeezed out 3 words from her lips. You deserve to die. Chao Nanshan snorted. I deserve to die? But I didn't die. Who let me die? Do you know why I betrayed Feng Qiansui? Because he didn't do what he promised me. He said that if he didn't have a son, he would choose me as his successor. But he has been promoting other young people. I know that if I don't do something, then his successor will never be me. Do you understand me? I'm very conflicted. I'm already in my 50s. If I can't take over Suong from Feng Qiansui's hands, then I'm destined to only have this little achievement in my life. Then have you ever thought that if it wasn't for Feng Qiansui, you wouldn't even have this little achievement? Chou Yen screamed hysterically, Chao Nanshan, I finally understand what it means to be a man who is never content is like a snake trying to swallow an elephant. You are the snake that the farmer saved in his arms. Repaying kindness with evil, people like you deserve to be struck by lightning. Chao Nanshan sneered. He didn't care about Chou Yun's hysterical roar. He looked at Guagua and said in a low voice, Guagua, do you hate Uncle Chao very much? But there's nothing you can do even if you hate me. It's too late. If you want to blame someone, blame your grandpa. He's the one who caused all of this. Chao Nanshan, you're despicable. Shut the hell up. Why are you telling Guagua this? Guagua is just a child. Chou Yun struggled to break free, but she was tied up too tightly. There was no chance for her to break free. Su Yun couldn't bear it anymore. Chao Nanshan, don't force me. I said that you'll give me to Green Ghost. Let them all go now. I also said that you can't order me. I can give all of you to Green Ghost now. What can you do? Are you going to bite me? Chao Nanshan snorted. But I won't give you to Green Ghost. I'll make sure he can't find you. I'll make him worry forever. Who told him to go back on his words? From today onwards, you'll all stay here in pain forever. I'm not in pain at all. This childish voice sounded very comfortable in this atmosphere. Guagua raised her determined face and looked at Chao Nanshan. She confirmed again, I'm not in pain at all. I don't hate you at all. I have a father and a mother. I love them and they love me. Guagua looked at Su Yun and hugged Ruan Qingshuang. I don't feel sorry for myself at all. Instead, I feel sorry for you. Only a person without love is pitiful. My grandpa was so good to you, but you did this. Uncle Chao, I think you're the pitiful one. I pity you. What did you say? Chao Nanshan glared. You pity me? Yes, I pity you. I have something to tell you. Do you dare to listen? Guagua wasn't afraid of Chao Nanshan at all. Perhaps it was true that a newborn calf wasn't afraid of a tiger. Even Ling Jiling didn't dare to face Chao Nanshan, but Guagua wasn't afraid at all. Chao Nanshan looked at the little girl in front of him in shock. He couldn't believe that a 6 or 7-year-old girl dared to talk to him like that. He even told her that he killed her parents. What do you want to tell me? Chao Nanshan couldn't hide his shock. I almost killed you. Don't you hate me? Aren't you afraid of me? Guagua didn't avoid Chao Nanshan's gaze. I'm not afraid of you because I didn't do anything wrong. You're the one who should be afraid. You did something wrong. Are you afraid of me? Is that why you don't dare to listen to me? I'm afraid of you. Chao Nanshan raised his head and laughed. Ha 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 ha, little girl, why would I be afraid of you? So what if I've done something wrong? I've done a lot of bad things in my life. How come I've never felt afraid? Come, I want to hear what you have to say that will make me afraid. Ha ha ha, say it, say it. I'm listening. Chao Nanshan lowered his body and put his ear next to Guagua's mouth. I'm so scared. Say it. Guagua smiled. Uncle Chao, you'll definitely be scared. Chao Nanshan was stunned. He didn't understand how a child could be so confident to make him afraid. Threaten? Intimidate? These weren't things a child could think of, right? However, just as Chao Nanshan was feeling puzzled, he felt his hand loosen. Then, Guagua pushed him to squat on the ground. To prevent himself from embarrassing himself, Chao Nanshan hurriedly placed his hands on the ground. Beads of sweat the size of beans appeared on Chao Nanshan's forehead as soon as he tried to hold himself up. Where's the gun in my hand? When Chao Nanshan came back to his senses, he realized that Guagua was trying her best to hold the heavy revolver with both hands. She slowly retreated to Ruan Qingxuang's side and aimed at Chao Nanshan. Uncle Chao, I said you'd be scared. Why are you scared now? Although Chao Nanshan was indeed a little scared, he didn't think a child would dare to shoot. He quickly recovered his composure. Guagua, children shouldn't play with guns. Give it back to me. Stop. Guagua shouted. Suddenly, she aimed the gun at Chao Nanshan's feet and pulled the trigger. However, the gun didn't make a sound. Guagua didn't really want to kill anyone. She just wanted to threaten Chao Nanshan. Unexpectedly, she couldn't pull the trigger. It was normal for a 6 or 7-year-old child to not know how to play with a gun. Chao Nanshan immediately let out a sigh of relief. It was impossible for this little girl to know the safety of a revolver. Just when everyone was rejoicing that Guagua didn't shoot to kill, Su Yun said, Guagua, the safety of a revolver is usually on the trigger. When you pull the trigger, you can feel an obvious excessive force. That's the safety. It's commonly known as one fire, two fires. It's also known as a double-action trigger. If you used a little more force just now, you would be able to shoot the bullet. Everyone was shocked by Su Yun's words, including Ruan Qingxuang and Chou Yun. They didn't understand why Su Yun would teach a child how to use a gun. If Guagua really killed Chao Nanshan, it would be a shadow in her life. However, Su Yun understood Guagua. She was smart enough to use her identity as a child to make Chao Nanshan lower his guard. Then, she snatched the weapon from his hand. Guagua's mind was obviously not at the level of a 6 or 7-year-old child. Therefore, Su Yun was sure that Guagua wouldn't really shoot. She knew what it meant to show off. She wanted to shoot just now to show off. Sure enough, after Su Yun's verbal instruction, Guagua immediately pulled the trigger. With a bang, the muzzle of the M500 revolver, which was also known as a hand cannon, emitted a huge flame. A bullet was shot out and exploded directly at Chao Nanshan's feet. The huge recoil also hurt Guagua's hand. Her young and tender hands didn't have enough strength to control the gun. After firing one shot, Guagua regretted it. It turned out that shooting was not fun at all. Guagua's shooting shocked everyone. Not only the enemy, but also their own people. The only one who could keep a clear head was Su Yun. Su Yun made a prompt decision and quickly rushed in front of Guagua. Su Yun turned around and half knelt on the ground. He said to Guagua, "Open it for Daddy. Use the gun. Hit the joint of the steel chain." Chapter 307. Su Yun knew very well how risky it was for him to do so. After all, Guagua was a child. She did not have as much control over guns as an adult. After firing that shot, she was a little scared herself. The M500 revolver was too powerful. Perhaps this gun was not as famous as the Desert Eagle, so it could be compared to the Desert Eagle. Even those who had only played gunplay games should know the power of the Desert Eagle. The M500 was twice as powerful as the Desert Eagle, so the muzzle flare was bigger than the Desert Eagle's. Anyone with a bit of common sense would know that if there was a sudden flash of light in a dark environment, there would be a residual image on the retina. Therefore, Guagua was basically still recovering her vision. Speaking of power, one had to mention the recoil. Although the recoil of a revolver was not uncontrollable, everyone could do it after some practice and paying attention to some details. These shooting techniques were very simple, but Guagua was still a child. She had never practiced shooting before. Under the pressure of nervousness, many adults would forget to pay attention to certain details, let alone a child. In fact, when Su Yun was teaching Guagua how to fire the gun, he was also worried. His worry was different from others. He was not worried about whether Guagua would hurt Guagua. He was worried about whether the recoil of the revolver would hurt Guagua's wrist. This kind of extreme example existed. Su Yun had seen a person who shot an automatic Magnum V pistol and fractured his right wrist on the first shot. However, in practice, Su Yun knew that the recoil of a revolver was lower than that of a revolver. That was why he dared to let Guagua fire that shot. After the shot, Guagua's entire hand was in pain and numbness. She really wanted to throw the gun away. Now that she heard Su Yun asking her to shoot again, and to aim at the steel chain on his wrist, it was simply a joke. If it were not for the danger they were in, Guagua really wanted to ask him, "Are you filming a movie? Don't let your wrist be too soft. Keep it tight. Straighten your elbow and use your shoulder to absorb the recoil. Don't hold the bottom of the gun. Move the muzzle slightly to the right." Su Yun did not have time to let Guagua think too much. Once Chao Nanshan took the gun away from Guagua, they would not have a chance to fight back. He asked Guagua to move the muzzle slightly to ensure that the bullet would not hit her. At this time, Chao Nanshan also walked out of the shock of the shot. The first thing he did when he reacted was to take the gun back from Guagua. This little girl had already learned how to shoot. She was no longer someone he could ignore. Just as Chao Nanshan came back to his senses and was about to pounce on Guagua, another gunshot rang out. Sparks flew from the muzzle of the gun. Guagua didn't dare open her eyes to look again. She angrily fired a bullet at the steel chain that was tightly wrapped around Su Yun's wrist. Su Yun suddenly exerted force. With a bang, the steel chain on his wrist fell. Chao Nanshan originally wanted to attack Guagua, but when he saw this, he quickly turned around and wanted to escape the scene. Wu Yuandong happened to be on the side of Chao Nanshan's escape route. He lightly stretched out his leg and Chao Nanshan fell flat on his face. "Master Chao." Di Jindiao saw this and quickly rushed forward. However, Ma Baori, Chao Nanshan's other right-hand man, turned around and ran away. He did not care about Chao Nanshan's life at all. In fact, if you want to know whether a subordinate is loyal to you, you only need to do one thing. Su Yun took the revolver from Guagua's hand and carried Guagua with one hand. Guagua's nervous state of mind was relieved. She hugged Su Yun's neck and did not let go. After the revolver was in Su Yun's hand, Su Yun did not hold back. He raised his hand and pulled the trigger. Without hesitation, the bullet shot out and directly penetrated Chao Nanshan's knee. The moment Chao Nanshan's knee exploded with blood, Chao Nanshan grimaced in pain. Di Jindiao did not care about the pain from his broken arm and pounced on Chao Nanshan. He wanted to help his master make one last struggle. Su Yun did not shoot again. The M500 revolver was different from most 6-shot revolvers. It was a 5-shot double-action revolver. Su Yun kept the remaining 2 bullets for use. Ma Baori had already fled the scene. Now, Cho Yun and Wu Yuandong were tied with steel chains that could not be untied by hand. Wu Yuandong and Cho Yun were smart people. When Su Yun did not shoot again, they understood Su Yun's intention. Wu Yuandong walked in front of Su Yun and turned around. Cho Yun followed closely behind. They all knew what they had to do. Su Yun casually pressed the muzzle of the gun against the steel chains on their wrists and easily broke the chains with 2 shots. After Cho Yen was rescued, she immediately helped Ling Zhiling untie her hands that were tied by the rope. Ling Zhiling rubbed her aching wrists. She had acted in movies with kidnapping scenes before. Now that she thought about it, if she were to act in a movie now, she would definitely be able to act more realistically. With real feelings, Ling Zhiling realized that her state of mind at this moment was actually so panicked and helpless. Seeing that his opponents were all free, Chao Nanshan only had one thought, and that was to escape. However, his knee was shot and he could not even stand up. The angry Cho Yun could no longer control her emotions. She rushed forward and wanted to settle the score with Chao Nanshan. The loyal Di Jindiao immediately stepped forward to stop her, but Wu Yuandong suddenly kicked him away. Wu Yuandong sneered and said, "Your opponent is me." Chao Nanshan, who no longer had anyone to rely on, finally understood what it meant to be terrified. He had said so many things that he should not have. He had said so many things that were enough to provoke Cho Yun into killing him. He regretted it so much. If he had known that something like this would happen, he would never have said those things that he shouldn't have even if he were beaten to death. I was just talking nonsense. Fox Supreme, let me explain. Chao Nanshan did not want to admit what he said just now. It's not what you think. I was forced to do those things. I didn't have a choice. Cho Yun would not listen to his nonsense. She suddenly raised her leg and aimed it at Chao Nanshan's face. In an instant, Chao Nanshan's nose and mouth were bleeding. His nose was broken and his front teeth were knocked out. Cho Yun's heart was burning with anger. She needed to vent her anger in order to untie the knot in her heart. The reason why the Feng family had fallen to such a state was all because of Chao Nanshan, that damned parasite. Feng Qiansui treated him like a junior and an old friend. If Feng Qiansui did not speak up in Su Hong's underground world, how could Chao Nanshan, who was so weak, step onto the stage of Su Hong's underground world? How could he recruit masters to work for him? How could he become the boss of Su Hong's top private club? It could be said that everything Chao Nanshan had was given to him by his friends in the underground world because of Feng Qiansui. However, Chao Nanshan was greedy. He planned to murder Guagua's parents for more benefits and a higher status. Now, he even colluded with Green Ghost to push the Feng family into the abyss. Thinking of Feng Qiansui, whose whereabouts were still unknown, Cho Yan's heart was filled with hatred. She suddenly grabbed Chao Nanshan's shoulders, her 10 fingers containing internal energy fiercely squeezing. A bone-chilling sound of bones cracking was heard from Chao Nanshan's shoulders. Chao Nanshan let out a miserable cry like a pig being slaughtered. Seeing Chao Nanshan being tortured, Di Jindiao could not bear to see it. He wanted to help his master. But now, he couldn't even protect himself. He was weaker than Wu Yuandong to begin with, and he had lost an arm. Under Wu Yuandong's full attack, he didn't have any chance to fight back, let alone help Chao Nanshan. Cho Yun would not kill Chao Nanshan so easily. If she just killed him, it would be too easy for him. After breaking Chao Nanshan's shoulders, Cho Yun's 5 fingers formed a fist and hit Chao Nanshan's collarbone. Gotcha! Ruan Qingxuang and Ling Jiling were scared silly when they saw and heard the sound. Guagua closed her eyes tightly and hugged Su Yun's neck. She knew that Cho Yun's sister would lose control. She did not want to see Cho Yun's sister being so cruel. However, Guagua did not want to stop it. Although she knew that if she stopped it, she would stop Cho Yun from being so cruel. But Guagua did not want to stop it. Although Guagua herself felt that it was very cruel, but Guagua could not be so magnanimous. She could not punish the bastard who killed her loved one. Su Yun watched coldly as Chao Nanshan was tortured by Cho Yun. Cho Yun used the cruelest method to break all the bones in Chao Nanshan's body. She did not let him die, but she turned him into a cripple who would twitch in pain just by breathing. Su Yun felt Guagua's small body tremble from time to time. He could not imagine how such a small child could be so strong. Guagua did not even cry from the beginning to the end. This girl was very similar to him when he was young. No matter how much pain or grievance she encountered, she would stuff it into her heart and slowly digest it. Some things were innate, such as stubbornness. Guagua was such a stubborn child. Even in this kind of situation, she would stubbornly force herself to be strong. Similarly, Su Yun was also a stubborn person. His master Wang Yi and godfather Zhang Taisui could not understand his stubbornness when he was young. He had always been so stubborn as he grew up, and Guagua would also grow up stubbornly like him. Finally, Cho Yun used up her last bit of strength on Chao Nanshan, and Chao Nanshan became the most crippled person in history. Wu Yuandong also easily dealt with the one-armed Di Jindiao. Di Jindiao had done everything he could, but he was not as strong as Wu Yuandong. He was powerless to save Chao Nanshan. Let's go. Wu Yuandong was a bit worried. If we don't leave now, I'm afraid that the guy who just left will attract Green Ghost. Cho Yun calmly looked at Su Yun. She listened to Su Yun's arrangements. Su Yun was indeed hesitating whether to leave or not. He really hoped that Ma Baori would attract Green Ghost. At worst, he would join forces with Cho Yun and Wu Yuandong to fight Green Ghost. But looking at Ruan Qingxuang, Guagua, and Ling Zhiling behind him, if they lost, what would they do? Chapter 308. When Green Ghost arrived at the Qin Club under Ma Baori's lead, everything was over. Su Yun and the others were already on the highway heading back to Ji Bei. Because Tang Hua Bin was also under the rule of the video, no one could order the road to be closed. Now, not only the highway, but all the intersections in and out of Suong were finally free of traffic. Green Ghost, who was attacked by one thing after another, was so angry that he wanted to spit out blood again. He didn't even need to think to know why Chao Nanshan didn't directly send Feng Guagua to him after capturing her. Green Ghost knew that Chao Nanshan also knew the importance of Guagua. Only by getting Guagua could they truly get what they wanted. If they couldn't capture this child, then everything would be nonsense. He, Green Ghost, would never be able to truly establish his foothold in Suong. Clearly, Chao Nanshan didn't directly send Guagua to Green Ghost after capturing her because he also wanted that thing. Only the person who had Guagua could get that thing. Wang Ruping and Tang Huabin's betrayal had already made Green Ghost furious. Now, Chao Nanshan actually wanted to betray him. How could Green Ghost accept this? Green Ghost stepped on the half-dead Chao Nanshan's face and said coldly, "Even if you can control that child, you can't reach the top of Suong. The underground world is a world where the strong prey on the weak. You can only be a dog in this world. You want to be a master? Humph. Impossible." Chao Nanshan was already tortured by the pain all over his body. Now that he was stepped on by Green Ghost, he didn't feel any humiliation at all. Chao Nanshan, whose bones were all crushed by Cho Yun, knew his fate. He could never live like a human. He was now a walking corpse. He didn't ask for anything else but death to end his pain. "I beg you, kill me. Kill you." Green Ghost kicked Chao Nanshan a few meters away. Chao Nanshan's crippled body rolled a few times on the ground before stopping. "Killing you would be letting you off too easily. Do you know how much you've ruined for me? Die. In your dreams." Chao Nanshan's only wish was to die. If he continued to live like this, he would have to experience what it meant to be worse than death. "I'll leave this person to you. If he dies, you don't need to live either." Green Ghost coldly glared at Ma Baori. Ma Baori's expression changed. He looked at Green Ghost in panic and said, Master Green, he's already like this. He won't be able to live for more than a few days. What do you want me to do?" Green Ghost didn't want the person who betrayed him to die so easily. Letting Chao Nanshan suffer another day of torture was also a punishment for him. "I don't care what you do, you have to let him live. If he can't eat or drink, you can feed him. Even if he can't move, you can serve him." Ma Baori didn't have the time to serve a cripple. "Master Qing, what if he insists on going on a hunger strike?" "Then chew it up and stuff it into his mouth." "I'll say it again. I don't care what you do. Even if you use a tube to feed him, you have to let him live like this." Green Ghost was too lazy to talk nonsense with Ma Baori. "If he dies, I'll kill you. Do you understand?" Yes. Ma Baori was filled with regret. He thought that after informing Green Ghost, he would be able to replace Chao Nanshan. He didn't expect such a disgusting thing to happen. This made him feel extremely regretful. Green Ghost, who had nowhere to vent his anger, suddenly slapped a 30-year-old cypress tree beside him. The huge tree trunk fell to the ground with a loud bang. The wooden house that Ruan Qingxuang and Guagua were locked up an hour ago collapsed. Green Ghost calculated the time and knew that there was nothing he could do. It was impossible for him to catch up with Su Yun and the others. The success that was within his reach had slipped away. As long as he didn't catch Guagua, everything he did was meaningless. Before Green Ghost left, he glanced at Chao Nanshan, who was struggling at death's door. This wasn't a bad thing for him. At least, there was one less person who knew about the child's secret. However, if he couldn't get this child, it was meaningless even if he had that thing. Green Ghost originally thought that he would stabilize the situation in Suong before catching Cho Yun and Guagua. However, he didn't expect that his negligence would cause him to lose everything. Although he was the underground leader in Suong, he had become a general without an army. Not only were his subordinates dead, but his right-hand man in the underground world, Chao Nanshan, was also crippled. Wang Rupiying and Tang Huabin, who he controlled on the surface, were also imprisoned. What could be worse than him, Green Ghost? The most important thing was, how was he going to explain it to Hades Lang Chen? It didn't matter that Su Yun had killed more than 30 people, but Jin Xiao from the Yen sect had also died in Su Yun's hands. Green Ghost couldn't explain it to Lang Chen at all. When Lang Chen lent Jin Xiao to him, he told him personally that Jin Xiao could only survive by borrowing someone else's body. The reason why he used such a thin and weak body was because everything in this body could fuse well with his surviving organs. However, this body was too weak, so Jin Xiao could only have the strength of a super master now. He couldn't reach the state of a master at all. Therefore, Lang Chen lent Jin Xiao to him not only to help him, but also to let Jin Xiao have a place to hide. He wanted to find a stronger body that was suitable for Jin Xiao's blood type. Only then would he let Ghost Dr. Peng Juanda perform the transplant operation on Jin Xiao again. When Jin Xiao recovered his strength of the state of a master, he would be a powerful long-range firepower under Hades's command. Therefore, although Lang Chen arranged Jin Xiao to be with Green Ghost, he didn't just let Green Ghost use him. He also let Green Ghost protect Jin Xiao's body at the same time. The powerful attack of the Yen sect's flying dagger was very important to Hades, so he tried everything to let Ghost Dr. Peng Juanda perform such a terrifying operation on him. Jin Xiao's original body had been completely destroyed by Jin Guai, but Peng Juanda used hundreds of days to transplant the surviving organs and head from Jin Xiao's body to his current body. It was shocking to hear about it. Now that Green Ghost had 8 lifetimes of bad luck and Jin Xiao had died in his hands, he really didn't dare to face Lang Chen. But if he thought about it carefully, maybe Lang Chen would be furious because Su Yun killed Jin Xiao. At that time, even if Su Yun had wings, it would be difficult for him to fly to the sky. Hades would never let him go. However, before that, Green Ghost still hoped to get Guagua through his own means. If Hades was angry, he wouldn't have the chance to get Guagua to finish his unfinished business. Anyway, the incident in Suong had happened. What should have happened had happened. There was no way to end it like this. What Green Ghost needed to do now was to find a way to explain it to Hades. After Green Ghost left the Qin Club, Ma Baori's heart finally settled down. He coldly walked back to Chao Nanshan's side and kicked him. "Grandpa Chao, why didn't you just die just now? You're already like this and you still want to implicate me." "Humph, after I followed you, I didn't get any benefits at all. I only suffered because of you." Chao Nanshan didn't want to say anything, but when he saw his subordinates treat him like this, he also had evil thoughts. He gasped with his last strength and said, "Ma Baori, you should have heard what Green Ghost said. As long as I die, he will take your life. So you'd better, take good care of me." "Take care of you? Chao Nanshan, are you kidding? Do you really think that just because I call you Master Chao, you're really a master? Why don't you take a piss and look at yourself in the mirror?" Ma Baori was furious when he heard this. It was fine if Green Ghost threatened him, but he didn't expect Chao Nanshan to threaten him when he was already like this. What kind of joke was this? Was he, Ma Baori, that despicable? Chao Nanshan sneered with all his strength. Umph. You can try if you don't believe me. Green Ghost has always been a man of his words. Do you know why he wants me to live? Because I have something he wants to know. If I die, he won't have anyone to ask. Cough cough. Ma Bowery, if I really die, Green Ghost will definitely blame you. Ha ha, at that time you won't be far from death. Ma Bowery stared at Chao Nanshan with wide eyes. He didn't know if Chao Nanshan was telling the truth, but if Chao Nanshan was telling the truth, then he really didn't dare to let him die. He had seen how ruthless Green Ghost was. If Chao Nanshan really did have the answer to a question Green Ghost wanted to know, then Green Ghost wouldn't let him go if he died. Master Chao, what will Green Ghost ask you? Tell me and I'll give you a quick death. Instead of being like this, why don't you just die a quick death? What do you say? Ma Bowery squatted down and said softly to Chao Nanshan, Master Chao, I'll give you a quick death. Tell me what Green Ghost wants to know and I'll do him a favor. This is good for everyone. Since I've been with you for so many years, just tell me. Chao Nanshan smiled and closed his eyes. He didn't have the strength to look at Ma Bowery anymore. You think Green Ghost will remember your favor? You're too naive. Plus, I'm telling you something so important, but you want to kill me. It's not worth it. What's the point of living like this? I'm letting you die because I think highly of you. Ma Bowery didn't have that much patience. Hearing Chao Nanshan's rejection, he stood up in anger and wanted to kick Chao Nanshan. At this moment, Ma Bowery felt a sharp pain in his lower back. Then, he felt a sharp blade cutting half of his body. Before he could say anything, he fell to the ground. Di Jindiao held a bloody dagger in his hand and used the last of his strength to kneel on the ground again. Master Chao, I'll help you. Di Jindiao, who was kneeling on the ground, suddenly pierced Chao Nanshan's heart with the dagger and then slit his own neck without hesitation. Chapter 309. Zhua Meiyan was wearing a purple business suit and a pair of high heels with black stockings. She was sitting in front of the luxurious office desk with her knees together. She was carefully reading the morning paper in her hand. The more she looked at it, the more she felt that something was wrong. In the end, her brows were tightly knitted together. Zhua Yeming, why are you showing this to me? Zhua Meiyan glared at her brother. Are you saying that Su Yun is the one who caused all this trouble in Suhang City? Zhua Yeming nodded. He played with an unlit cigarette in his hand. Sister, why would I lie to you? If he didn't cause this, who else could it be? They went to Suong to shoot the commercial for 2 days. How could Suong be so coincidental? I heard that Wang Ruping and Tang Huabin, the 2 senior officials, are not good people. All the female celebrities who go to Suong to perform will be taken advantage of by them. Stop beating around the bush. Zhua Meiyan snorted. Sis, tell me, if our Ling Jieling goes, how can those 2 bastards not think of ways to take advantage of her? Zhua Yeming said, the night before they arrived, they were taken out by the police for no reason. In the end, it was you who called Secretary Zheng of the provincial government to stop this. I don't think my future brother-in-law is someone who would take it lying down. I think he realized that something was wrong after he finished with the whole thing, so he went back to teach them a lesson. When Zhua Meiyan heard this, she felt that it made some sense. Su Yun was definitely not someone to be trifled with, but how could he pull down those 2 big parasites in just a few days? One had to know that dealing with a big corrupt person in the party was much more difficult than eradicating a malignant tumor of the underworld. However, after hearing Zhua Yeming's words, Zhua Meiyan felt that Su Yun might have something to do with this. I have something for you to do. Zhua Meiyan hooked a finger at Zhua Yeming. Zhua Yeming pretended to be disgusted. Don't try to trick me with your hooking finger. I won't fall for it. You want me to go to Suong to find out? TSK. I'm telling you, there's no way. There's still a pile of shit behind me. I don't have the time. Is your skin itching again? When did I seduce a man? Stinking brat, I'll repeat myself to you once more. I'm still a proper virgin. Don't make it sound like I'm an abandoned flower. Zhua Meiyan glared fiercely at Zhuo Yeming. Are you going or not? Kid, I'm telling you, it's fine if you don't want to go, but give me back my car keys now. Zhuo Yeming was startled. He hurriedly reached for the Ferrari car key at his waist and muttered softly, Is it necessary? Be good and listen to me. If you go, I'll give you this Ferrari FF. Zhuo Meiyan raised her eyebrows. How about it? Isn't that enough? As long as you agree, the key will be yours forever. As long as you don't feel tired, I don't care if you drive to Suong. That's a promise. Zhuo Yeming's eyes lit up. Zhua Meiyan nodded. Remember to bring some specialties to Secretary Zheng. If we want to build a film studio around Westlake in the future, we have to build a good relationship with Secretary Zheng. Do you understand? Yes. Hearing this, Zhuo Yeming became excited. It had been a long time since he'd driven on the highway. After all, this Ferrari FF was his dream. Sky Entertainment Group didn't lack money. A car that cost less than 6 million yuan was nothing to the group, but to Zhuo Yeming, it was life-threatening. Even though he was the younger brother of the acting chairman, he only had 10,000 yuan a month for living expenses. It was more than enough for him to eat, drink, and play. However, if he had to buy a car that cost more than 100,000 yuan a year, he really couldn't afford it. It couldn't be helped. It was his sister's fault for being so strict. Zhuo Meiyan knew that men become bad when they become rich. In addition, her brother Zhuo Yeming was already handsome. If he drove a Ferrari, how many girls would try their best to get into his bed? If he met a scheming black-bellied woman, who knew what kind of trouble he'd cause? Therefore, Zhuo Meiyan was quite stingy with her brother. Tang Group was such a big company, but her standard cars were all Mercedes-Benz. Out of the 3 cars, only the S65 AMG, which cost less than 3 million yuan, wasn't custom-made. The extended Mercedes-Benz RV and Mercedes-Benz MPV were all custom-made. Zhuo Yeming's car was of a much lower class. He only had a standard Passat, Guochuanjiang, Qin Tianjian, Zhou Buoqing. These people all drove top-notch Range Rovers, BMW 7 Series, Audi A8S, and so on. Zhuo Yeming, on the other hand, wasn't a big deal, but he wasn't a small one either. He was just an executive vice president of Sky Entertainment Group. Driving a Passat that cost more than 200,000 yuan was really beneath him. What's more, which small leader of Sky Entertainment Group didn't drive a car that cost 300,000 or 500,000 yuan? Therefore, Zhuo Yeming had a special fondness for Ferrari. This car was because of a movie. At that time, Zhuo Meiyan had placed an advertisement for Ferrari for the sake of Zhuo Meiyan's reputation. However, she didn't expect the movie to be a big hit and had an international influence. Therefore, Ferrari's CEO was so happy that he specially gave Zhuo Meiyan a limited edition Ferrari FF. Zhuo Yeming begged left and right before Zhuo Meiyan finally agreed to let him drive it for 2 days. However, the price was that she wouldn't give him living expenses for the next month. When it came to financial power, Zhuo Yeming wanted to cry. His sister was even more strict than his mother. Right. Sister, I'm going to Suong now. Can you at least give me some expenses? Zhuo Yeming smiled bitterly. I only have a few thousand yuan on me. At most, it's barely enough to pay for the toll and gas. I can't be too cheap to buy specialty products for Secretary Zheng, right? Zhuo Meiyan rolled her eyes. She took out a card from her handbag and tossed it to Zhuo Yeming. Every expense on this card will be sent to me through the bank's SMS system. Therefore, you better keep a receipt for every expense. Otherwise, I'll deduct it from your living expenses. Zhuo Yeming really wanted to cry. However, for the sake of his luxury car, for the sake of not having to drive his Passat to the company with a dirty face, he gritted his teeth and accepted it. At most, he would spend all his living expenses on this precious car. At most, he would just freeload every day. It seemed that he had to establish a good relationship with his future brother-in-law. Only then would he be able to get more living expenses. Sister, why aren't my future brother-in-law and the others back yet? Zhou Yiming asked. Just do what you need to do. Go. Zhou Meiyan waved her hand and signaled for Zhou Yiming to do whatever he needed to do. According to her calculations, Su Yun and the others should be back by now. If there were no accidents, they would definitely be home today. She called Wu Yuandong. Wu Yuandong said that he would try his best to rush the whole day. However, Zhou Meiyan wanted them to be safe first. She told them not to rush and that they would be back before dinner. She would prepare a welcome dinner for them. Wu Yuandong rushed the whole night and finally arrived at Hadong City at dawn. He didn't ask Su Yun what he wanted. He just followed Su Yun's instructions and drove to the hotel. After getting out of the car, he realized that the hotel belonged to Su Yun and the others. After a tiring night, Wu Yuandong wolfed down the food and went back to his room to sleep. When he received Mr. Zhu's call, he didn't say much. He only said that he was still on the road and that he should go back as soon as possible. Ling Jiling didn't expect Su Yun to own such a hotel in this small town. She was even more shocked than when she saw the meteor shower for the first time. Miss Ling, why don't you rest in this room first? Ruan Qingshuang took Ling Jiling to Qin Wan Er's room. Because the hotel's business was very good, there were no empty rooms. Chou Yun and Guagua shared a room. Wu Yuandong was arranged to stay in Su Yun's room. Ruan Qingshuang could only arrange for Ling Jiling to stay in Qin Wan Er's room. After all, Qin Wan Er was working overtime and wouldn't come back. Ruan Qingshuang was about to ask Su Yun to rest in her room. Ling Jiling spoke first. Brother, can you come here for a while? I have something to ask you. Okay. Su Yun nodded. Then, he turned around and gestured for Ruan Qingshuang to go back to her room to rest. He also had something to say to Ling Jiling. The two of them entered the room and closed the door. Ruan Qingshuang didn't think too much about it. She was indeed a little tired. She might as well take a break while Su Yun and the others were talking. She still had to get up later to arrange lunch for them. It was a pleasure to have friends from afar. After all, Ling Jiling and Wu Yuandong were guests from afar. They were Su Yun's friends. Ruan Qingshuang naturally had to treat them well. After Su Yun and Ling Jiling entered the room, Ling Jiling said bluntly, President Zhu doesn't know that you're in a hotel in Hadong, right? Well, to be exact, this hotel is Sister Shuang's. I'm with Sister Shuang. Su Yun laughed. Su Yun, if you really treat me as an older sister and don't treat me as an outsider, then tell me the truth. Ling Jiling glared at Su Yun. You brought us here to rest. After we rest, are you going to stay here and not leave? Su Yun didn't evade the question and nodded. Of course. This is my home. Ling Jiling didn't say anything. She stared at Su Yun for a while. She didn't say anything else. Okay. Then, how do you want me to explain this to President Zhu when I go back? President Zhu will definitely be waiting for you to go back and give you a welcome dinner. That? I really haven't thought about it. Su Yun rubbed his chin. Ling Jiling really hit the nail on the head. Seeing Su Yun so conflicted, Ling Jiling knew that he wouldn't be able to figure it out in a short time. Take your time. Since we're already here, I also want to take a bath and rest. I'm going to take a shower. You better think of a reasonable explanation after I'm done. Otherwise, I really don't know how to explain this to President Zhu. If you don't want your older sister to suffer, then give me a perfect answer later. Chapter 310. Although there was the sound of water splashing in the bathroom, Su Yun was not in the mood to think about those men and women. If he didn't go back to Jibei with Ling Jiling, Zhou Meiyan would definitely get to the bottom of it. Su Yun was not afraid that she would know about the hotel, but he didn't want to waste time explaining. But after thinking about it, Su Yun really had no choice. He would just take one step at a time and let her go. Ling Jiling used the hot water to get rid of her tiredness. Seeing that there was a clean woolen bathrobe in the bathroom, she put it on and walked out without thinking much. When she came out, Su Yun was really shocked because the bathrobe was Qin Weiner's. Su Yun didn't pay attention and thought that Qin Weiner had come back. You. Why did you come out in this bathrobe? Su Yun swallowed and stuttered. This dress is so ugly. It doesn't match your temperament at all. Ling Jiling looked down and shrugged indifferently. I think it's quite good. Isn't this specially prepared for me? At this time, Su Yun finally understood what it meant to think of the devil, and the devil has come. The electronic door of the room opened with a zzz sound. Qin Wan widened her eyes and looked at the two people inside. She angrily shouted at Su Yun, Su Yun, what is the meaning of this? Tell me clearly, which part of my dress is ugly? Which part of it doesn't match your temperament? Qin Weiner had worked overtime at the police station last night. Recently, a lot of big things had happened in the city. Because of the bidding for the new artificial river, there had been a fierce fight, which resulted in 2 deaths and 7 serious injuries. The city attached great importance to this matter, so Qin Weiner had been working very hard during this period. Originally, she did not want to come back to rest today. However, when Director Chan saw her haggard face and learned that she had worked overtime again, he was furious. He immediately ordered people to send Qin Weiner back and told her that she could work overtime on weekends if she wanted to. However, if she stayed up late, she had to go home on weekends. That was why Qin Wan dragged her tired body back. When she got out of the car at the entrance of the hotel, Dan Jiahao stopped Qin Wan and told her mysteriously, Sister Wan, Brother Yun is back. Hearing that Su Yun had returned, Qin Wan-er's originally low spirits suddenly rose. She opened her eyes wide and looked at Dan Jiahao. Where is he? Where is he? They are all upstairs. It seems that they have been on the road all night and are resting. Dan Jiahao smiled and said, Big Ming also came back with Brother Yun. I'm going up first. Talk to you later. Qin Wan did not listen to the second half of Dan Jiahao's words and rushed directly to the elevator. After hurrying to the top floor, Qin Wan found that it was very quiet. She did not know that these people were tired. Last night was very exciting. Moreover, they had been on the road all night. Who would not be tired? Even Ruan Qingshuang, who had been emphasizing not to fall asleep, began to make a faint snoring sound on the bed. Qin Wan could also guess that everyone might have fallen asleep, so she quietly walked to her room. It was good that everyone was asleep. She would also sleep. Then, she would wash up and dress up. When she met Su Yun at noon, she would not be so haggard and embarrassing. However, what Qin Wan did not expect was that when she just walked into the door, she heard a conversation inside. It turned out to be a man and a woman. The man's voice was obviously Su Yun, but the woman's voice was definitely not Ruan Qingshuang or Chou Yun. Qin Wan was so angry that her brain went blank. Su Yun was too much, wasn't he? Not only did he bring a woman back, but he even wanted to do such a dirty thing in her room. He even said that her bathrobe was not good enough for that little slut. For a moment, Qin Wan did not have time to think about it. She directly opened the door of the room, pointed at Su Yun and questioned him. Su Yun stared at Qin Wan and said with an innocent expression, Wan, didn't Sister Shuang say that you were working overtime in the municipal bureau? Why did you suddenly come back? Well, let me explain to you first. What else do you have to explain? I asked you to bring a woman back to do dirty things. Can you go to your own room? This is my room, okay? Are you deliberately disgusting me? If you don't want me to continue living here, just say it. Qin Wan was indeed a little impulsive. She even said that. When Ling Jiling saw that the owner of the room had come back, she realized that the bathrobe was probably the owner's. She hurriedly explained, I'm sorry. I really didn't know that this bathrobe was yours. I'm really sorry. And I definitely don't have the kind of relationship with Su Yun that you think. I hope you don't misunderstand. Qin Wan snorted and stared at Ling Jiling. I misunderstood. I misunderstood. Her red lips slightly opened, but she couldn't say a word. It seemed that all the words were stuck in her throat. After being stunned for a long time, Qin Wan instantly reacted. She didn't care that she was angry with Su Yun. She stepped forward and pulled Su Yun to her side. She whispered, This can't be. Did I see it wrong? Su Yun, hurry up and explain to me. After that, Qin Wan pinched Su Yun's arm hard. Su Yun cried out in pain. Only then did Qin Wan believe him and nodded. This is really not a dream. Why is Ling Jiling here? Su Yun rubbed her red arm. Qin Wan, you're an adult now. Can't you use your brain when you do things? What dream? This is Ling Jiling. Can't you be more ladylike? It's a happy day to have friends from afar. Why are you shouting? Hey, Su Yun, even if she is a star, she can't wear this in my room and flirt with you. Qin Wan didn't care about this. Explain to me what's going on. Su Yun closed the door. Don't wake others up. Let me introduce you first, okay? Introduce. No need. I know her. Qin Wan looked at Ling Jiling with her eyes wide open. This was definitely not wrong. She was the one who made movies and filmed so many commercials. She was a domestic A-list actress. But she doesn't know you. Su Yun glared. At this time, Ling Jiling was embarrassed, so she took the initiative to show her goodwill to Qin Wan. Hello, my name is Ling Jiling. When we came, the rooms downstairs were full, so Miss Wan arranged for me to stay in this room. I'm sorry, I didn't know this room was yours. Sorry to trouble you. No. It's no trouble. Qin Wan shook her head hard. My name is Qin Wan. Hello, Miss Qin. Ling Jiling's politeness had long been a habit, because the environment she faced was completely different from Qin Wan's. Every day, she faced either high-level leaders or the public media. Therefore, her habit of speaking and doing things was to be polite, no matter who she faced. But Qin Wan was different. She faced some hard-pressed cases. Those who were involved with her were either evil or robbers. So, her loud voice was often inadvertently revealed. Seeing that a big star was so polite to her, Qin Wan was really embarrassed. Miss Ling, you can call me Wan. I'm really sorry just now. I must have misunderstood you. Did Su Yun peek at you when you were taking a shower? I knew it must be Su Yun. This is too similar to Su Yun's style. He likes to peek at girls taking a shower. He also peeked at me taking a shower. Miss Ling, I'm a police officer. Don't worry, I will never let him go. Su Yun was speechless. What was this? Qin Wan, Are you kidding me? Are you sure it's me who likes to peek at you taking a shower, or you who likes to peek at me taking a shower? Can you trick me even more? Shut up. You don't have the right to speak here. Qin Wan said to Su Yun impolitely. Then, she turned to Ling Jiling and smiled. Miss Ling, can you sign an autograph for me? Of course. Ling Jiling maintained her habitual smile. Wan I especially like girls like you. If you don't mind, we will be friends in the future. Qin Wan's mouth formed an O shape in surprise. Really? It's the first time I've been so close to a star. It's also the first time I've been so close to a policewoman. Ling Jiling had this kind of temperament, which made people feel close to her. Otherwise, she wouldn't have been able to become an A-list star. Seeing that the two of them were chatting, Su Yun sighed helplessly. Well, can I leave first? Go, do whatever you want. Although Qin Wan hadn't seen Su Yun for a long time, she was still not polite at all. When facing Ling Jiling, she was much more excited. Sister Jiling, do you know that there are a lot of your fans in our station? Can I take a picture with you? Yes. Ling Jiling said and took out her mobile phone. She generously touched Qin Wan's head and took a selfie. Qin Wan also took out her mobile phone and took a lot of pictures. This time, she didn't come back for nothing. Su Yun was really good. He had only been out for a short time, but he had already abducted an A-list star in China. Suddenly, when she thought of Su Yun, Qin Wan found that Su Yun had already gone out. Anyway, there were many opportunities to see Su Yun. It was rare to have a chance to take a picture with a star and be friends. In addition, Qin Wan really didn't expect Ling Jiling to be so amiable. She didn't put on airs at all. She really liked her more and more. If it weren't for Su Yun, Ling Jiling probably wouldn't be friends with strangers so easily. Because of Su Yun, Ling Jiling felt that Su Yun's friends must be worthy of being friends with, so there was no barrier between her and Qin Wan at all. The two of them took pictures and signed autographs in the room. Su Yun didn't want to be bored here. After leaving the room, he went to Ruan Qingxuang's room. Although Ruan Qingxuang closed the door for Su Yun because she wanted to talk to Su Yun, when Su Yun arrived, she was already sleeping soundly. You're tuning in to the Narrate and Escape YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.